It's been a topsy-turvy season for them, but they managed to pick up 3 points. Here's a report on today's game from our commentator, Alex Crook.
Leeds 1, Burnley 0. Patrick Bamford into double figures for the season as Leeds put clear daylight between them and the Premier League bottom three. Bamford converting from the penalty spot with only 5 minutes played after he was sent tumbling by the Burnley goalkeeper Nick Pope for what proved to be the winning goal. Burnley thought they'd equalised before half-time. Ashley Barnes hooking home, but the goal was ruled out for a foul by Ben Mee on the Leeds goalkeeper Meslier, and the home side having to survive a constant barrage of Burnley aerial bombardment in the second half, but Meslier and his defence held firm to leave the Clarets looking nervously over their shoulder. Sean Dyche far from impressed with the referee, especially for that decision to controversially rule out Barnes' goal, but it finished at Elland Road, Leeds United 1, Burnley 0.
Leeds up to 12th in the table. Leeds up to 11th in the table tonight on 20 points. A brilliant return to the Premier League for Leeds United. Newly promoted sides not normally doing that well. It's been a feast of food over the last couple of days. We've got a feast of football in the Premier League today, and it continues in a second. Liverpool against West Brom with Toby Gillies and Chris Perry. Just quickly, Dean, how do you see that game playing out between Liverpool and West Brom?
Well, I think Sam Allardyce will be looking for an improved performance from West Brom. He would have changed the structure, he would have changed the personnel, but you know, Liverpool is such a machine, a winning machine. They're a brilliant team, so I can only see one winner.
Can Sam Allardyce bring a surprise? It's coming up next with Toby Gillies and Chris Perry. Liverpool and West Brom. Thanks for joining us on TalkSport Live.
This Christmas, get all the non-stop Premier League action with a Now TV, Sky Sports or Sports Extra pack. Watch over 40 games this December with the biggest names in the league.
Gets it from Fernandes.
Stream every game or only pay for the ones you want. Your sport on your terms with Now TV. 18 plus ROI only. Month passes sold separately and auto-renew. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Terms apply.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
Create the Premier League atmosphere at home with Harvey Norman, the home of the big screen. Feel like you're on the pitch with our stunning range of 4K smart LED and OLED TVs from LG, starting from just $449. Plus, hear every kick, save, tackle, decision with LG's best-in-class soundbars. Get TV ready for all the big games with Harvey Norman. Shop online today or safely in our spacious stores. Harvey Norman, home of the big screen.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the Ford Transit Custom from €290 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford Lease or text Ford to 50015 to speak to us about leasing your next vehicle.
Text cost to standard rate. Price quoted for Transit Custom Base with no maintenance over 4 years with 3 monthly rentals in advance. 20,000 kilometres per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford Lease is provided by Merriam Fleet Management, trading as Ford Lease.
123inc.ie have your office needs covered. So whether you're an accountant, butcher, carpenter, dentist, electrician, florist, graphic designer, hairdresser, journalist, lecturer, musician, optician, retailer, teacher, solicitor, web designer, or yoga instructor, we've got what you need. And we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123inc.ie. For home, for office, for less.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Go for a walk. Walk the dog. Go cycling. Cycle the dog. Recycle the dog. Just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. If one leg of your 4+ fold ACA lets you down, get a free bet on all football leagues and markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Need help? Visit gamblingcare.ie.
Premier League Live with Talk Sport. All the big goals and big moments from the world's biggest football league.
They get a second here, they can! Mason Greenwood with a wonderful turn past Bonner.
Jamie Vardy wins the game for Leicester.
Bringing you the best of the Premier League all year round.
No, it's a cracker from Kane to almost break the crossbar.
Leeds United, who have huffed and puffed all game long, have finally blown the Everton defence down.
Thumping head up, and there is goal number 5 for Manchester City, and it's a hat-trick for Riyad Mahrez.
Premier League Live with Talk Sport.
You're listening to Talk Sport's coverage of Liverpool against West Brom from Anfield. I'm your match commentator today, Toby Gillis. Alongside me, a former Tottenham, Wimbledon and Albion defender, Chris Perry. This is Premier League Live. Well, Liverpool won their last match 8 days ago away from home by a mere 7-0. So obviously goal scoring's a big problem for the champions. Goodness me, how could Jurgen Klopp find a solution to that issue ahead of a home clash against the second worst defence in the league? I know, why not bring in the Premier League's top scorer? Not a bad way to go about cementing your place at the top of the table as Liverpool look to move 5 points clear of the rest after becoming the first side in Premier League history to have topped the table in 3 consecutive seasons at Christmas. Yes, Mo Salah is back. But while second bottom West Brom with 1 league win across multiple leagues in their last 18 games are clear second favourites today to end the champions' 66-game unbeaten league home run. There are some omens that work in their favour, and mostly they come from their new boss. Sam Allardyce was the last visiting manager to emerge with 3 points in the Premier League at Anfield when he won 2-1 with Crystal Palace as long ago as April 2017. To top it off, he's never actually lost at Anfield at all to Jurgen Klopp. No doubt Big Sam will fancy it as he looks to end that extraordinary run, the second longest home unbeaten run in English football history. Let's get straight to the team news because Liverpool do make 2 changes from that 7-0 victory at Crystal Palace. Takumi Minamino and Naby Keita drop out. Minamino is on the bench. No place for Keita at all. No suggestion of an injury, just not in the squad today. Mo Salah as mentioned and Curtis Jones come in their places. For West Brom, they were beaten by Aston Villa 3-0 last time, and there was fury from Sam Allardyce at captain Jake Livermore, who got himself sent off for a terrible tackle on Jack Grealish. He misses out, therefore suspended. In comes Callum Robinson. That probably means a shift in the system as well to either a 4-2-3-1 or maybe even a 4-4-2. We wait and see. So Liverpool's 11. Alisson is the goalkeeper. The back 4, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joel Matip, Fabinho and Andy Robertson. The midfield 3, Curtis Jones, Jordan Henderson, Jorginho Wijnaldum, and Mo Salah joins Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino up top. For West Brom, Sam Johnstone continues in goal. It's the same back 4, Darnell Furlong, Semi Ajayi, Dara O'Shea and Kieran Gibbs. Then Romain Sawyers is in the midfield in that defensive position, possibly joined with Conor Gallagher. Then Matt Phillips right, Grady Diangana left, Callum Robinson then in alongside Ahearne-Grant. Let's bring in Chris Perry, who will be joining us for this one this afternoon. Chris, Sam Allardyce relishes matches like this, I'd have thought.
Absolutely. I mean, he's always enjoyed going to places where his team are the complete underdog, and there's no bigger underdog than West Brom today. He will go there, he will set his team up to defend, he will set his team up to look to hit Liverpool on the counter-attack. You know, with Liverpool, you want to defend deep, so it's going to suit West Brom, I think, how Sam's going to want to set this up. It's just going to be how long he can keep that clean sheet for, because if he concedes an early goal, this could get ugly. Surprised at the addition of Robinson in place of Livermore for this particular 11, and as I mentioned, possibly even a change to 4-4-2. Yeah, a little bit surprised in terms of who was going to come in. They haven't really got a natural central midfielder to come in, so it could have been Pereira, it could have been Ivanovic, but he's decided to go with a more attack-minded player, and I think it's that counter-attack threat that he's looking at the pace of Callum Robinson with Ahearne-Grant to try and cause Liverpool a few problems.
Is that where they go with this? Because, I mean, certainly Robinson and Grant are not the sort of biggest, bruisers, as it were, in Premier League history, which is at least stereotypically what Sam Allardyce likes.
Yeah, I mean, he's always liked a big target man, hasn't he? When you think back to his Bolton days of Kevin Davis and players of that ilk, but in Ahearne-Grant and Callum Robinson, he's got two very, very willing runners who will run the channels and will give them an opportunity if they can just put the ball in down the sides to get themselves up the pitch.
Will it matter to Jurgen Klopp that he's never won a home game against Sam Allardyce? I mean, there's even one more omen if you're of a West Brom persuasion or even just non-Liverpool persuasion. He's also one of 3 coaches to have faced Klopp 3 or more times in the Premier League who don't actually have a losing record against him. He's played him 5 times, 1 win, 3 draws and a defeat. Take a draw today, of course.
Oh, they'd absolutely bite your hand off for a draw. Anything they can get would be amazing. It's a game really where they've got nothing to lose, West Brom. The only bad thing for them would be a really big defeat.
Would Klopp be thinking about a record like that, knowing that somehow Allardyce seems to have his number?
No, absolutely not. No, this is a very different Liverpool team to the team that played against Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
when they lost there, the last time they did lose at home, and Sam Allardyce was in charge. This is a much better team now, and with the front 3 back in tandem today, you have to feel that it's going to be difficult for West Brom.
And it's fair to say they are hitting their straps. Well, we're going to hear from Sam Allardyce and his thoughts about this very, very difficult trip to the Champions, who are really back in form after that massive victory over Crystal Palace last time out. But what about the man himself? Let's hear first of all from Jurgen Klopp.
What I expect is a tough opponent. It was always tough against Sam Allardyce teams, well organized. That will be a proper fight. Sam is a proven specialist for organizing teams for these kind of fights, so we expect a tough game, obviously.
Yes, but that positivity needs and has to involve really hard work, good leadership on and off the field, players to take responsibility, not just for their own performance, but the teammates' performance. In other words, it's not just about encouraging each other on the field, it's about pointing out what we might not be doing right and trying to put it right. And the player that may be asked to do that, or maybe be criticised by one of his teammates, takes it in good stead because it's constructive criticism, and that spurs him on to put it right and try and get a result.
Look, it's the best position you can be in a moment, but that's it. That's all. We know how tough it is, how tough it was, how tough it is, how tough it will be. So we didn't even play the half of the season, but probably usually happened round about this time. It's nice, nothing else. When we didn't win the league after being top of the table at Christmas, it was not about a lack of focus or whatever. It was just the quality of the opponents, and this quality is still out there, and so we collect a few points, and if we want to do something special this year, then we have to collect even more until the end of the season, and that's what we try. That's it.
I'm not sure how they've taken me yet, because I've actually cracked a few jokes and got quite a sort of bemused look off one or two players, as if what's the manager doing? Is he joking or is he serious or what? I mean, I have to assure him I'm having a bit of a laugh and a joke with him, because I'm only come back to, as hard as it might be at this stage, I've come back to be amongst these young players and enjoy their company, and a laugh and a joke is, even though it has to get very serious on the way to Liverpool, we need to be interacting with each other, having a sense of humour, taking the mickey out of each other is all a part of the right bonding to get out of trouble.
I think that's the phrase that Sam Allardyce loves particularly, isn't it? Bants. He's all about that, and he'll be hoping to bring a smile to the West Brom players' faces. Chris Perry, how does he go about this one today? Is it just sit and defend, or does he go Marcelo Bielsa?
He certainly doesn't. I don't think I've ever seen him go Marcelo Bielsa, that's for sure. No, he sits, he gets his team organised. I'll be surprised if it's not 2 back to 4 with Robinson playing in behind, almost a 4-4-1-1. Make it as difficult as he can. I wouldn't see them, certainly they won't be holding the halfway line and leaving lots of space in behind, and I think they try and make it as difficult as they can for as long as they can, and the longer they can stay in this game at 1-0 down or at 0-0 ideally for them, then the bigger the chance they'll get at some stage to hit Liverpool on the counter-attack.
Merseyside, one of the few places with a Premier League ground contained inside it that can still have fans. They are spaced out around the Kop, ready to watch the champions face West Bromwich Albion. You'll hear full commentary coming up shortly live on Premier League Live.
The Premier League Live.
Here's the shot away! Goal!
With TalkSport.
Demanding a high performance from your team? You should be demanding the same from your tyres. The Irish Tyre Industry Association is urging motorists to stay safe this winter and check the condition of your tyres. You could even be liable for a fine and 2 penalty points if found driving with tyres below the legal tread depth limit of 1.6 millimetres. ITIA expert technicians will carry out a free tyre safety check to ensure your tyres are safe and legal. Visit itia.ie to find your local expert.
As Ireland's homegrown insurer, FPD knows it's empowering when someone has your back. So switch your van insurance to us and get up to 75% no-claim discount. Visit fpd.ie to request a quote. FPD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms, conditions and underwriting criteria apply. 75% no-claims discount is based on proof of 5 years no-claims discount and available to new commercial motor customers only. FPD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FPD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FPD Insurance PLC.
This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other. Erscoa Kayla. Ireland is working online with help from Black Knight and .ie, because now we need better than business as usual. Call Black Knight on 059 918 3027 or visit blackknight.ie.
Certainty. With Volkswagen commercial vehicles, it's included as standard. Quality, performance, reliability. And now with purchase contributions of up to €3,500 and service plans from $999. For vans and offers you can rely on, always. Contact your local Volkswagen commercial vehicles dealer or visit volkswagenvans.ie. T's and C's apply.
There's certain matchday sounds we are all missing. But there are others we don't have to. Is Carlsberg Pilsner the best beer to enjoy while watching the match at home? Probably. Carlsberg Pilsner. Probably the best beer in the world. Enjoy Carlsberg sensibly. Visit drinkaware.ie.
This Christmas, get all the non-stop Premier League action with a Now TV, Sky Sports or Sports Extra pack. Watch over 40 games this December with the biggest names in the league.
Gets it from Fernandes.
Stream every game or only pay for the ones you want. Your sport on your terms with Now TV. 18 plus ROI only. Month passes sold separately and auto-renew. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Terms apply.
The Premier League Live.
Oh, what a goal!
With TalkSport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against West Brom from Anfield. I'm your host, Toby Gillis. Alongside me, Chris Perry, former Albion defender. This is Premier League Live, and this is maybe not with the gusto of a full Kop, the glorious sound of fans back at Premier League grounds, and one of the most famous anthems in world football, You'll Never Walk Alone, being sung by the 2,000 inside Anfield for the champions this afternoon. A day after Boxing Day, but Christmas not that far gone. Liverpool, the first team in Premier League history to have topped the league for 3 consecutive Christmases. 9 of the last 11 champions were top at Christmas. That said, the 2 that failed were indeed Liverpool. They'll hope to avoid that this season and back up what they did last year. Let's remind you of the team news. Liverpool make 2 changes from the team that beat Crystal Palace 7-0. Takumi Minamino and Naby Keita drop out. Minamino on the bench, Keita out entirely. Mo Salah and Curtis Jones come in. They have Alisson in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joel Matip, Fabinho and Andy Robertson across the back, Curtis Jones, Jordan Henderson, Jorginho Wijnaldum in midfield, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane and then Roberto Firmino up top. For West Brom, one change from the 3-0 defeat to Aston Villa. Captain Jake Livermore suspended. Callum Robinson comes in. It looks like a 4-4-1-1. Sam Johnstone's the goalkeeper. Darnell Furlong, Semi Ajayi, Dara O'Shea and Kieran Gibbs across the back four. Roman Sawyers and Conor Gallagher the midfield pairing, with Matt Phillips right and Grady Diangana left. Then Callum Robinson supporting Ahearne-Grant up top. West Brom will be the team to get us underway. Conor Gallagher is currently kneeling over the ball after the first whistle ahead of this game, which we have become accustomed to. And West Brom, Chris Perry, starting in certainly an aggressive fashion with the way that they're kicking off.
Well, I think they've made it perfectly obvious where the first pass was going to go, and it's gone in there, and Liverpool on the back foot early.
Certainly are, and it's sliced towards the near side by Robertson. Sadio Mane thinks that he's won himself the throw, but it must have come off the Senegalese last. Darnell Furlong will pick the ball up and take the throw in the midpoint of the Liverpool half, then volleyed long, and you can tell obviously that they're thinking to themselves, right, we'll go aerial here, we'll see what we can come up with. And it's a bit scrappy early doors. Players giving the ball away left, right and centre. Jordan Henderson's made a tackle. Fabinho has cleared, and he's reached Firmino into the centre circle. And here's Curtis Jones coming forward. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a tearing run outside of him, but Jones just slows things down. Diangana comes to close him down, so he squares it to Henderson. Forward ball to Mane. Comes back to Henderson, clipped to the right hand side for Trent Alexander-Arnold, and back on halfway is Joel Matip, the Cameroonian international, former Schalke man, starting for the 7th time in 11 games today. Believe it or not, he'd started prior to this run just once since October 2019.
Well, we wondered what the shape would look like without the ball for West Brom, and it's basically a 5-5.
Yes, it is absolutely right. Ahearne-Grant has just drifted further forward as Diangana nicks the ball off of Trent Alexander-Arnold there, but then runs into Roberto Firmino, and the referee, I think that's a bit harsh there, has decided there's a foul in there.
I can only think there was an earlier tug that the referee was trying to play advantage for. I mean, Diangana was just dwelt on the ball, dwelt in possession, and that's the last thing you want to do against this Liverpool team who press so well.
So nearly 2 minutes on the clock. It's Liverpool 0, West Bromwich Albion 0 on Premier League Live. And it'll be the goalkeeper Sam Johnstone, who has got links with Manchester United. I wonder whether the Liverpool fans have thought about that. They're rarely uneducated when it comes to those sorts of rivalries, and an opportunity to boo anybody who's ever pulled on the Man United shirt is one they'd rarely turn down, as Mane comes forward and turns it to the left side of the 18-yard box for a ball in by Robertson, flashed across the 6-yard box. Didn't have an awful lot of pace on it, plenty of time for someone to dive onto it, but nobody did. Salah's picked it up far side. Henderson's little dink delivery into the box, it's cleared, it's flicked on by Diangana and picked up over on the far side. The Liverpool right, shooting from right to left today with Curtis Jones in their famous all-red kit. West Brom in their dark blue and white stripes, white shorts and dark socks, and they're struggling without the ball to get anywhere near it, frankly, at the moment.
They don't want to go anywhere near it. They're just happy to sit in their 2 banks of 5 and make Liverpool play in front of them. Just camped on the edge of their own 18-yard box, make sure there's no space for Salah, Firmino and Mane to run in behind.
Ahearne-Grant is definitely on the left side at the moment of that second bank of 5, the more advanced one, although really are incredibly deep. And on this near side, chance for Robinson to clear. He's done so up to halfway, but this isn't something they can maintain, can they? They clear it to halfway, give it away every time, and that's that.
I think
surely
they will try and maintain this discipline and this shape until they concede a goal, and then Sam Allardyce probably won't change it until about 70-80 minutes.
Firmino tries to get it back off of Mane. There's the challenge coming in there in the midfield, and can they get away with it? They can't through Phillips. They've got Firmino in possession. Firmino's ball in is cut out at the back there by O'Shea, and he finds Diangana, and he'll play it up into the left-hand channel towards Ahearne-Grant. And Liverpool are back with their goalkeeper, and I wonder whether Alisson has got the concentration levels up today, because I suspect he won't have an awful lot to do.
Oh, you might have a couple of balls like that just to sweep up and start attacks again, but very unlikely to come under sustained pressure from West Brom.
Hope he's brought a book. I don't know if he's going to see a lot of action otherwise today. Certainly great expectations of this Liverpool team today. It's with Jordan Henderson in the centre circle. Up to Curtis Jones, inside right position. One more outside of him is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Salah runs away from it to allow the ball to run on to Firmino. Back to Alexander-Arnold. Now here's Fabinho, making his 100th Liverpool appearance today after his arrival from Monaco. There was some doubt about him initially, but I think often with Jurgen Klopp's signings it just takes a while for them to truly understand what it is that's demanded of them, as Henderson delivers a ball into the West Brom box, dealt with by Gibbs, and then did Curtis Jones catch that Gallagher that's gone down? It is inside the 18-yard box. He has, having safety first, put it out for a throw. He's quite fortunate that the tackle came in late. He's got a free kick, and 5 minutes in, it's Liverpool 0, West Brom 0, and a free kick for the Baggies just inside their own 18-yard box.
I think we saw there that Liverpool have to keep patient. They have to keep working the ball from side to side, wait for the opportunities to open up, because if they lose patience and just hit a straight ball like they did there, it's going to be really easy for West Brom to defend.
No need for them to lose patience, is there? Because they've West Brom have got nobody in advanced positions, generally speaking, as Gallagher has the ball nicked off of him by Curtis Jones.
This could be their best chance.
He did bring Jones down, but Henderson merged with the ball, and here comes the advantage. Firmino in deep position. He's got a bit fortuitous there to work the ball left for Robertson. There's the cross to Salah, just ahead of the Egyptian, and Trent Alexander-Arnold does well to prevent the ball going out for the throw. Back it comes to Curtis Jones. Into Henderson. There's the bending ball into the box. That looked like a handball to me. Absolutely convinced of it, surely. From, I think it was Ajayi, was it?
I think it's Furlong. I think it's Darnell Furlong goes up.
And is he actually...
He's claiming it was a handball
claiming
first,
handball by a Liverpool player, yeah, absolutely.
It certainly looked to hit Furlong's arm without doubt. I mean, he tracks Mane, I think he is, into the box.
Well, this is going to be a penalty if it didn't hit a Liverpool body first.
Comes back in, surely. There it is. That's the ball from Robertson. Salah really, I think, should be looking for a diving header there, really throwing himself at it. That's twice he's been a little bit back on his heels at the back post, where he could have been in there getting goals.
Well, amazingly, VAR does not appear to be getting involved at this particular stage. Martin Atkinson is our video assistant. There's nothing given, nothing doing, and the game goes on as Grant misses out on a header. It might drop for Robertson on the near side, and it's actually come off of... He couldn't keep it in, so a throw in for West Brom. Mid-point on the right-hand side of Liverpool's half. Liverpool with the... unusual for them, they've allowed a very slight amount of blue on their kit this season, their home kit, blue and white, just across the neck, but it's otherwise a fairly traditional Liverpool kit this year, with the champions decked out in traditional red. Jordan Henderson has a bit of time in the centre circle, squares it to his left to Fabinho, moves into the West Brom half, and then back to Henderson. Here's Curtis Jones. Jones, one of two Scousers in the side today, alongside Trent Alexander-Arnold. They love him in Liverpool, and that's both halves of Liverpool enjoy having Scousers in their team. Ball up towards Jones. He might get a bit fortuitous to get away from Sawyers and Gallagher there. He's done so. Gave it to Henderson. Now Fabinho, ball in behind for Robertson, and again that's that straight ball you were talking about, Chris, that's really they've wasted. Behind it goes for a goal kick.
Yeah, because West Brom are so deep, they're basically holding the edge of the penalty area, and so that straight ball in behind has to be inch perfect, and it's so difficult to hit that. The pitches are watered these days, particularly, anything just skids through, and it's going to be easy for West Brom to defend. I think their best route of attack is going to be down the wide areas, through the fullbacks, getting crosses into the box.
This is the 150th meeting in all competitions between Liverpool and West Brom. Baggies, believe it or not, unbeaten in their last three, and that includes a victory at Anfield back in January 2018 in the FA Cup, when they came from behind. Firmino and Salah scored the goals in that game. Firmino after 5, but Jay Rodriguez with a couple. Joel Matip with an own goal gave West Brom a 3-1 lead at half-time. And although Mo Salah got one back with 12 remaining, they couldn't find a way to level things up and got knocked out. As a header by Ajayi goes behind for a goal kick from a long throw.
Yeah, they're looking for Ajayi, aren't they? They're looking just to try and get some big bodies into the box. Ajayi to look to flick it on the near post and see if they can maybe poach a goal.
They do have Mateus Pereira on the bench today, returning after a 3-match suspension. In fact, there are some real attacking options on the bench. Pereira is joined by Kamil Grzycki, Charlie Austin, Raheem Harper, Filip Kravinovic can all get forward. Then Branislav Ivanovic, Kyle Edwards and Lee Peltier, they're more defensive options. David Button's the goalkeeper. Quivine Kelleher is the keeper on the bench for Liverpool today. And James Milner back from injury. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Takumi Minamino, Xherdan Shaqiri also back from injury. Divock Origi, Reece Williams, Nathaniel Phillips and Nico Williams. A little bit of a stronger bench suddenly for Liverpool than we've seen in recent weeks.
They're starting to get players back, aren't they?
As Mane picks up and finds a little gap to Robertson to tear forward, takes it to the byline, drills the ball across. Ajayi's there, smacked away by Robinson, and Fabinho picks up. Jones, Henderson, another one of those dink balls over the defence. This time Ajayi gets up, heads towards the near side. Salah's in there. Salah's ball back towards Williams. Robinson reads it, intercepts and clears straight to Fabinho. How many times have we said that already in this half? 11 gone, scoreless, but it's all Liverpool and it's all being played in West Brom's half. It's practically a training session.
It is. It's exactly that, but very rarely would you do a training session where it's all 11 men behind the ball. You might do it against 8 behind the ball, but not 11.
Jones, Robertson, back towards the edge of the centre circle for Fabinho. One more for Henderson. Wijnaldum. There's Matip.
Fabinho might as well come and play central midfield.
He might as well. Matip's ball into Mane! Brilliant! 1-0 Liverpool, first shot on target, first goal. Now West Brom can start playing. Super easy, and it was a straight ball, but it was a brilliant touch by Sadio Mane to bring it down, and then on the half volley, smacks it past Sam Johnstone. How many do Liverpool fancy? How long can West Brom kick them out? Liverpool 1, West Brom 0.
This is really poor defending. It really is just a straight ball from Matip. No one picks. Ajayi just needs to stay goal side of Sadio Mane. He tries to win the ball in front. He doesn't get there. It's a brilliant first touch on his chest from Mane. Just opens out into his path and then volleys it on the half volley with his right foot past Sam Johnstone into the bottom right hand corner of his goal. It's a brilliant finish from Mane, but Semi Ajayi just needs to stay behind him and stay goal side, and he can't possibly score.
6th Premier League goal of the season for Sadio Mane this season. Believe it or not, only his 2nd at home. They've been giving him space away from home, generally speaking, in the Premier League, but West Brom, I mean, you can't take anything away from the chest control by Sadio Mane. It has to be said.
It's brilliant. The way he took it was superb. His awareness that there wasn't a defender behind him, that Ajayi had stepped in front. He was so quick to realise that, and his touch was perfect.
Here is the man that got the assist for that one, Joel Matip in the centre circle, gives it square to his centre-back partner Fabinho. Curtis Jones now on the left, and they're chasing shadows, West Brom.
Well, they won't change shape though. Sam Allardyce certainly not before half-time will not change shape.
Well, how many do they have to concede before he does think about that?
I think probably 3, I'd say.
Well, they have got the ball now, and this is a chance to break, as Robinson has it on the right-hand side, quite high up for West Brom, takes on Fabinho, finds a little gap to Diangana, holding off Firmino, now on the right-hand side, crossing opportunity from Furlong, headed away by Matip, on by Henderson, but Diangana gets it down again. Sawyers, Furlong, Sawyers slips it through towards Robinson. Robertson is there to block it, give it back to the goalkeeper, and Alisson's clearance. Ajayi underneath it, flicked header on. That's unfortunate, that one, from Phillips, because Robinson would have been offside. Liverpool have dealt with it anyway, so no need to stop it. But the long clearance found by Ajayi onto Sawyers. Sawyers, little touch. I actually thought I was off of him last, but it's gone the Baggies' way. 1-0 to Liverpool, 14 got. Better though.
Better from West Brom. They had 6 or 7 players high up the pitch, but that's probably what Liverpool want now. They want them to come out of that shape early and then to hit them on the counter-attack, which has been Liverpool's strength for the last 2 or 3 years.
Furlong's throw finds Phillips, comes back to Robinson. His cross is blocked and bounces into the 18-yard box, but nobody pressuring the ball, so Henderson can hook clear. O'Shea is underneath that one, heads into touch on the near side. Liverpool with the throw midpoint of their own half, and it'll be Robertson to take it. Bit of a tongue twister when I realised both Robinson and Robertson went for the ball.
Yeah, you did well.
We got that.
Yeah, Jay, you can see Sadio Mane all the way. You can see the run.
I wonder whether he was just slightly alerted by Firmino joining the attack as well.
Furlong comes inside, so he has to shift over, and he just misreads it. He thinks he can win it in front, and it's that little mistake that they've paid for.
Robertson tries to slip it down the left-hand side. Furlong is there to make the block. 25-year-old. He's done relatively well, certainly by comparison with the rest of the West Brom squad in attacking terms. Furlong this season, a goal and 2 assists. That's the joint most goal involvements, as we now call them, in West Brom's squad, along with Robinson, as Gallagher makes an interception inside the 18-yard box, but his clearance is well dealt with by Matip. Touches it into Mo Salah, top scorer in the Premier League with 13 so far this season. Robertson gives it to Jordan Henderson. Central midfield, just advanced of the centre circle. Wijnaldum. Alexander-Arnold comes back to Matip. Leaves it for Henderson. Crossfield ball towards Robertson in the 18-yard box. Dealt with by Furlong. Into touch near side for Robertson to take the throw, level with the penalty spot. Back to Jones. What's interesting about this Liverpool team is just how versatile the players are. It's not just the front players, is it? We've seen Jones left and right, Wijnaldum ditto. Henderson is currently out on the right hand side. Certainly not easy to do a man marking job on them because they're never in the same position.
I think Henderson particularly likes to drop into that right side full-back position, which allows Trent Alexander-Arnold to get a lot higher up the pitch.
It's almost total football in some ways, isn't it? Jones up to Mane. Jones wanted Robertson to make a run that he's refused to make, so he squares it the other way to Firmino. Now Matip, and then here is Henderson in that right, I say right back, I mean it's high up the pitch on the right, but Alexander-Arnold's come in field. Robertson fairly narrow. There's the ball into the box. It might find Salah, might drop to Mane. It just hit Salah's shins, bounced towards Mane. I wondered if he was offside actually, Mane, when that came to him, but a clearance behind by a West Brom defender, and Liverpool have been given a corner.
Yeah, it's a good ball in, wasn't it? In towards Salah from Robertson. It just bounced off Salah's knee, and Mane wanted to turn and hit it in one movement, but Darnell Furlong just stepped in and conceded the corner.
Robertson to take it, right arm in the sky, left-footed, out-swinging delivery. Oh, and Salah has missed it. That was a chance. Dropped right to his feet. And Henderson picks it up, blocked by Phillips, throw into Liverpool.
No reason that Mo Salah couldn't get on the end of that at all. Just had a clean run, just completely misjudged it.
Again, Ajayi had lost him.
Yep. Not dealing with movement particularly well, Ajayi. I think he loves it when the ball's played long in the air towards him, but movement around him, he looks to really struggle.
Henderson on the right hand side. It's a real chip into the box to Firmino. Got the flick on it, dropped just beyond Mane. Cleared by West Brom to Fabinho. Fabinho's ball to the right hand side for Alexander-Arnold. It's gone a long way. Mane threw himself at it. I think it took a deflection of a West Brom player, so Robinson needed to deal with it. He's actually just given it to Robertson. Robertson to Jones.
Liverpool putting crosses in the box, aren't they?
Henderson, straight ball this time to Firmino, left side of the 6-yard box. That one's easy for Ajayi, and Robinson on the right hand side will clear it off of Firmino. I just wonder with Ajayi, we've seen it with players in the past that have sort of had decent years as a championship defender, whether often you can be a big brute, can't you, quick and strong, and actually it's really the Premier League movement that you struggle with, and suddenly you find yourself as a very good central defender for a Championship team rather than the Prem.
That's generally the difference between the Championship and the Premier League, is the quality in the movement and the understanding of the strikers and the sharpness of the strikers' movement, and that's what's difficult to come to terms with, particularly for big central defenders.
Away by West Brom again. Diangana has it. Matip takes it off of him. Can't pass beyond Gallagher, but it bounced off him kindly, and Alexander-Arnold worked it to Henderson.
Well, this is going to be an easy game for Fabinho and Joel Matip. I mean, the ball literally has been out of West Brom's half of the pitch maybe twice.
Liverpool's season, I guess, since the Van Dijk injury with Fabinho at centre half has not really reduced a lot of the defensive statistics. Certainly points per game and all of that hasn't really changed. What has changed is their ability to win aerial challenges. Fabinho has won 41% of his aerial challenges this season. Van Dijk won 90% last season. I mean, Allardyce would have known that, wouldn't he? Somebody that loves a statistic, and surely the idea would have been, if they can get bodies forward, get it up in the air against Fabinho.
The problem is, to do that you need to win free kicks and corners, and they can't get out their half.
Nowhere close. Salah on the right hand side gives it to Henderson, gives it back to the diminutive Egyptian. Just some mutterings recently as to whether he might stay, as Henderson delivers the ball in, and Mane with the header. It's only just wide of Sam Johnstone's left hand post. West Brom get away with it again. Still Liverpool 1, West Brom 0.
Yeah, again it's Ajayi not quick enough with his movement, allows Mane to just get in front of him. The ball's low, so it's a stooping, almost diving header, just trying to glance it into the near corner. Just gets a little bit too much on it, wide of the goal.
Johnston will look to clear. 18 months or so left on his deal. Just a few mutterings that he might be someone that some of the other clubs around the Premier League are interested in. I'm sure Sam Allardyce would be happy to lose him, as Salah releases Firmino on the right hand side of the 18-yard box. Little shimmy, works it into Salah onto his left foot. This looks dangerous. Crowded out there though. Henderson to the right for Wijnaldum. Now here's Alexander-Arnold on the right hand side from Jones. What's the cross like? Low, Wijnaldum in. It's found Mane, and he's put it wide again.
I think it's a corner.
It is, you're absolutely right.
It's a lovely ball. They're getting into really high up the pitch, and the low balls into the box are causing West Brom all sorts of problems.
Good defending by Furlong, wasn't it?
Well, Mane really should score. I mean, he's ahead of Furlong, should do better. Should really do a bit better. Furlong just about does enough.
Corner for Liverpool then. Into the box it goes. Header by Wijnaldum is over.
Yeah, if Wijnaldum gets the flick right though, Joel Matip is completely unmarked at the back post.
There's a few of these Liverpool players that are being sort of linked with moves away, question marks over them. Wijnaldum with Barcelona, Salah with both Barcelona and Real Madrid. Just wondering, at this current moment, why you'd leave. What possibly could attract you to go to one of those clubs that are...
Barcelona or Real Madrid can attract any player at any time. They are two massive clubs. Even now, yep.
I don't get
what
why.
What more has Mo Salah got to achieve at Liverpool? He's won everything.
Yeah, but, I mean, he's more likely to win more at Liverpool than he is to win at
I wouldn't
Real
disagree
Madrid or
with you, Toby. I agree, but Real Madrid and Barcelona have a
money.
real pull. Well, no, but playing for Real Madrid and Barcelona is a huge thing in someone's career.
Wonder whether he replaces Messi. Is he that good? I mean,
he's not.
Nobody's that good.
He's not that good. No, absolutely not.
What does he get? What does he get? 40 goals in La Liga, maybe, rather than the 50 of
potentially.
Messi.
You're looking at potential figures of maybe Cristiano. He's more like a Cristiano Ronaldo type player than he is a Messi.
Mane has it, left hand side. He's got one outside of him in Robertson. Back into Fabinho and Wijnaldum as well. I can't understand it personally. It's unless it's the weather, maybe. Henderson delivers the ball in. That was Jurgen Klopp's answer when he was asked about it, because the reason we talk about it is Salah had done an interview where he sort of refused to rule it out. He said it's in the club's hands, and Klopp was asked about it and he said, well, it's absolutely true, it is in the club's hands. Well, when the questions start coming, and tell you what, Salah does not do many interviews, and they will have known that question was coming, because why wouldn't you ask it? Well, they didn't say we don't want to be asked it in advance, and trust me, that does happen when you interview big players. At times you get told these topics are off limits. They didn't say that topic wasn't off limits. He knew it was coming and he had an answer prepared, but did not put it to bed. Robertson, Mane, Matip, Fabinho in the centre circle, but really every time I mention the centre circle they're on the attacking edge of it. Henderson, every single player in the West Brom defensive third, really, with the exception of Alisson.
20 yards from their own goal.
Yeah. Jones back to Henderson, cross comes in, Johnston will take. Good keeper Johnston for you or not? Where are we ranking him?
Not bad, not as good as Henderson. Obviously came through at Man United.
Yeah.
Not as good as Henderson, but not far off. I think he's a decent keeper, and he's certainly a Premier League keeper. And so if West Brom were to get relegated this season, I think there'd be a little bit of interest in him.
Brighton and Leeds, the ones linked at the moment. As Sawyers gets underneath the header on the halfway line, that one comes off of Phillips last, I suspect. Has that gone Liverpool's way? Sam Allardyce can't believe it. Wearing a mask incorrectly.
He's got ex-Liverpool player on the side behind him as well, Sammy Lee, hasn't he? He would have shouted for a few decisions in this stadium.
I'll say. Had an alright career, didn't he, Sammy Lee?
Excellent player, Sammy Lee, yeah.
Big Sam and Little Sam, they call him. Long time now as an assistant to Sam Allardyce. Been all over the place with him. It'll mean a lot to Sammy Lee when he comes back to Anfield, even if his current side are losing by a goal to nil. 26.5 gone. Fabinho has it left of the centre circle. Moves it out towards the right for Henderson. Couple of little passes with Alexander-Arnold, works some space for Jones down the right. Alexander-Arnold goes outside of him, Jones just rolling it around under his feet.
Should have passed it.
Gives it to Henderson, another cross towards Mane, dealt with by Furlong. Can Robinson prevent the throw? No. Robertson will take it. Back it comes to Fabinho. Matip coming forward. I mean, he was 30 yards from goal there. That's how high up the field he can get, and they're still not coming towards him. Firmino's found a gap down the right hand side. Alexander-Arnold's pass towards Salah wasn't the best. Firmino, I should say, goes for goal with his left foot. Take a deflection, behind it goes for the corner.
Yeah, they're working the ball into those areas where they're able to cross sort of in line with the penalty area, which means that it can be a low cross in behind defenders, and that's what West Brom have really struggled with. Surprised that Alexander-Arnold didn't just put that one in again.
Well, chance to deliver a ball in now as Kevin Friend has spotted something, the referee. Going on between Furlong and Mane.
Furlong's trying to get hold of him again.
Well, at least it's not Ajayi. As the ball comes into the box, dealt with on the edge of the 6-yard box by O'Shea. Picked up on the near side by Diangana. Far too many red shirts around him, and they easily emerge with the ball. Firmino stabs out to the right hand side for Mohamed Salah. Back he comes to Henderson. Alexander-Arnold bends it to the right for Salah again. Alexander-Arnold, Henderson. Can't tell me that the players are enjoying this for West Brom.
I was just thinking exactly the same. When you look at their midfield, they've got Matt Phillips, who's a winger. They've got Romain Sawyers, who's an attacking midfield player, really, in the Championship, love to control the game and spray passes. They've got Conor Gallagher, who's got a real eye for goal. They've got Grady Diangana, who's an out-and-out attacking player. And they've got Callum Robinson, and none of those players want to defend for 90 minutes, but that's what they're being asked to do, and they're going to get frustrated and they will lose concentration.
If you want to get in touch with us, by the way, you haven't missed anything. A free kick's been given. It is in a good position. It's 3 yards outside the D for Liverpool.
This is
Henderson, Alexander-Arnold and Salah over it.
This is made for a right footer. And if Henderson takes this over Alexander-Arnold, I'd be amazed. Alexander-Arnold for me is one of the best free kick takers there is at the moment in world football.
4-man West Brom wall, and then a little gap, and then Gallagher on the end of it, and Sam Johnstone is saying he wants the players to move slightly to the right. I'm not totally convinced that he's happy with the positioning of the wall. That's Alexander-Arnold, dead-eyed, bends it wide.
Well, he got it up and over the wall, didn't he? I mean, the height was perfect, just didn't quite have the direction. Ended up quite a long way wide, probably 3 or 4 yards wide in the end. I think he was aware that he didn't want to go over the top of Ajayi at 6'4", 6'5".
No, it was interesting that it went directly over O'Shea.
Yeah.
Who didn't jump, the only player of the wall that didn't jump. I wonder whether they've watched that in videos and spotted that one doesn't jump, and almost whether it was deliberate to go over O'Shea, but he didn't get the accuracy on it. Here's Salah. Alexander-Arnold takes a little deflection off of Jones. Don't know if he's kept that in, has he? Yes, he just about has. Done really well there, I have to say. If you want to get in touch with us, by the way, at TalkSport Live on Twitter. Really like hearing your thoughts on where this Liverpool team is at. Can Sam Allardyce save West Brom? Can he do it playing like this, or is this just because it's Liverpool? Timothy Eddington has been in touch, listening at work again, running a chair at just over 3,100 metres in Colorado, up in the mountains. I mean, that's like mocking me, because I am a skier and I can't go this year, and I'm absolutely devastated. That is a beautiful shot. He says Liverpool will win 3-0, Salah and Mane amongst the goals, and then you'll never walk alone, hashtag as well. Although I think you've got the letters the wrong way round, and it's actually you'll walk never alone. But, you know, something poetic at least, Timothy. Thanks very much for joining us. Anyone else that wants to get involved at TalkSport Live? I do love a picture. Please don't mock me with mountains, though, because I'm very upset.
I think Liverpool are that much in control of this game. They could probably take Alisson off and play an outfield player. You know, like they do in ice hockey.
Not sure
take the goalkeeper off.
Not sure that's in the rules, is
I
it?
think you can, yeah.
You have to have a keeper, don't you?
You do, but he could literally play at centre-back, couldn't
he? Yes, yeah. They don't have to stay in the goalkeeper's position. They just have to have a nominated goalkeeper. Here's Jones going left side of the centre circle to Mane.
It's just sloppiness is going to cost Liverpool.
Yeah, by Robinson, and he's worked it up to Phillips. This is a chance for West Brom to come forward. That's a good ball, you know, to Grant. Grant's first touch wasn't the best, but he's on the right side of the 18-yard box, comes across towards Diangana. It's going to come out to Sawyers. He's volleyed a shot towards goal, taken off of him by Wijnaldum's deflection. It bounced high out to Diangana. He tried to bring the ball down, but there was definitely a handball in there. I think the offside flag is up as well, so free kick to Liverpool. But that's a chance, and if Grant's first touch had been better, my word, there might have been something in that. And I'll tell you what, is Diangana really offside? I thought Robertson was playing him on.
Whatever happened, it was one of the most blatant handballs you've ever seen. How the referees missed that, I've got no idea. But that's Liverpool getting sloppy because it's so easy is going to be the only thing they've got to guard against there. It was really sloppy from Mane, and that's going to be the chance that West Brom are going to get, and they're going to have to be very, very clinical.
Wasn't even that clinical with his first touch, was he? But Liverpool's, normal service resumed as Mane, goodness me, absolutely dives into Furlong there, and Furlong is the man to have been penalised. I'm never convinced about those. I understand why it's a free kick, but he couldn't really get out the way.
No, it's difficult, isn't it? We'll see here. We'll see. Mane.
Yeah, I mean, he
tries to block him.
Yes,
he tries to block him. Yeah, he knows that he's coming towards Mane. Sadio Mane got too tight and was never going to be able to catch him if it was played round him.
So free kick, another chance. 34 on the clock, and I think Sam Allardyce will be pleased with this. 1-0.
He'll be happy with 1-0. Like I say, he might stay like this if it stays at 1-0, he might stay like this until the 80th minute before he even takes a chance at trying to get back into the game.
Liverpool have got this extraordinary home record to defend, currently unbeaten in 66. in the Premier League in home games. That's the same number on the back of this man, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Up to Salah. Firmino takes it off his toes on the centre spot. Works it to Mane. He's left that one for Robertson to tear beyond him. Robertson checks. Furlong comes to close him down. So he moves it infield to Firmino. Nice spot for Wijnaldum. This could be lovely. Firmino tries a too clever back heel, and it just allowed Gallagher to get back in and half clear, but Firmino blocked it. It's worked again to the left. Robertson to Mane. This time Mane with the back heel that doesn't work, and then Robertson's a bit unlucky there. It's bounced off of him last, and throwing goes Liverpool's way. Robertson takes it to the left side of the 18-yard box for Firmino. Robertson comes back to Matip. Henderson outside and widest man, Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's poor from him, doesn't find Salah, and West Brom can break with Grant.
He's got to go do it all himself. He's got to beat inside his own 6 players, hasn't he? He's got to beat 6 players to get anywhere near the goal.
And he didn't. Quelle surprise. It's with Robertson. Expecting a resounding trashing this evening, says Dwayne.
I don't know if
Liverpool
Sam
needs to shore up their goal difference.
Sam Allardyce, well, they scored 7 last week. That didn't do it bad. But Sam Allardyce will not allow his team to get trashed. You wouldn't have thought. He doesn't like to concede too many goals. He's not the sort of manager that if it goes to 3 or 4-0 will say we're going to go for this. He'll probably just sit back and say, okay, I'm not going to let it be any more.
Yeah. Adedayo has described this as boring and disgraceful football from West Brom. They can't survive relegation with this style. Listening in from Ibadan, Nigeria.
They don't play Liverpool every week, do they?
No, I think that's the point, isn't it? There will be slack given on the basis that it's Liverpool, and then we wait and we see what happens next time when they're at home to Leeds and at home to Arsenal. Relegation contenders as well, Arsenal supposedly. Well, I think maybe not after yesterday.
I think not, but certainly a team that they'll have more chance against.
There's a cross from Alexander-Arnold's delivery's not been quite his best today. Into the arms of Sam Johnstone, that one.
I think he's one of these players that if his mind's not 100% on it, just gets a little bit slack in his technique.
Craig has been in touch from Santa Monica, California, up the Reds, racing towards 2021, top of the league where we belong. He says he won't send a pic of the beach. I don't mind a picture of the beach. Doesn't bother me at all. The jealousy comes when it's...
I like the beach.
Okay, well, let's have pictures of beaches and make Chris jealous. As Henderson plays it up to Mane, his first touch isn't great that time, and it just allowed a defender back in to turn it onto Johnston. First time clearance, out towards the far side, just inside Liverpool's half. Alexander-Arnold will take the throw. If you live near a beach, at Chris Pez Perry, and you can look at them at half time.
Looking forward to that.
Just a few million listeners.
Warm me up while it's freezing cold here.
Absolutely, it really is as well. It's with Curtis Jones on the near side. Jones with lots of time, but he's made a footing error there. And Phillips got in and he's managed to release Robinson. Can he find Grant? It's a bit heavy, that pass up towards the left edge of the Liverpool box, and Alisson comes out to turn it away. But had he got the pass right, then maybe Grant would have been in there.
Yeah, Liverpool just a little bit guilty of finding it too easy at times and just dwelling on the ball a little bit too much. They need to move it quicker.
Here's Salah, Firmino, to Salah, right side of the 18-yard box, half cleared. Sawyers manages to get a block in on Henderson. Alexander-Arnold gives it to Matip. Jones. Unless I say the ball's in West Brom's half, let's just make an agreement now.
It just is.
For Henderson towards the right. Salah. Love to see what the possession stats are at the moment.
Territorially, I mean, this is a joke.
Yeah. Firmino to the near side, and Jones. He's got an option in Robertson outside him if he wants, but again wants it on his right foot so far, Jones. Now Henderson's little chip ball into the box. He's tried so many of them, hasn't he? Ironically, it was the one from Matip that worked. Gallagher has it far side, man on loan. Conor Gallagher goes down, wins the free kick.
I think he's a good player, Conor Gallagher. He's going to be one of the most frustrated players out there because he works his socks off, but he's one of those midfielders who loves the time, runs into the box and has got real eye for goal, and he's not going to get that opportunity today.
Shane Moran, g'day team from an early morning in Oz. West Brom sides of old would have given this game a fair go. Using ultra defensive tactics is not the way to go, and he says Crystal Palace are heading in that direction too. Well, I'll tell you what, it's fair to say that West Brom are doing a better job than Palace.
Yep, they've been stubborn. They defended well. One mistake really has cost them a goal.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there's probably been more mistakes, but Liverpool haven't punished them, and that's not West Brom's fault. As Firmino manages to work it to Robertson, there's a little bit more space suddenly here. Sadio Mane left side of the 18-yard box. Mane takes it towards the byline, hangs one up to the back post. Salah's jumped ahead of Gibbs. Barely mentioned Kieran Gibbs' name. And he's given it to Diangana, and then it's his time to clear into the Liverpool half. Most of the time, Grant, can he find Robinson? No. Lovely skill by Fabinho. Goodness me, totally outfoxed Robinson. And suddenly Liverpool are back on the edge of the West Brom box again. It's Mane, back heel towards the left for Robertson. There's the cross towards the back post, up and behind by O'Shea. Gunner will prevent the corner at the expense of a throw. No, it's going to be picked up far side by Mane instead. Alexander-Arnold, Henderson, Mane, shown up by Diangana, and he's clipped the ball behind him, but Gallagher's there. Left foot clearance straight at the Senegalese. Mane, right side, ball towards the back post, and it's picked up. Gone far too long. Robinson will just take a throw down by his own corner flag.
Liverpool's crosses into the box haven't been great, actually. That ball from Mane there was well overhit. There was no one at the back post, but he should know there's not going to be anyone at the back post because he's on the right wing instead of the left. But to be fair, Andy Robertson doesn't need to stay on the edge of the box. He might as well go into the box because there's no attacking threat from West Brom at all.
Raphael's been in touch from Ibadan, Nigeria, with a photo of his Christmas dinner, and I'll tell you what, I don't know what it is, but it's magnificent and maybe slightly terrifying. Tell us what's on that, Raphael. I'm desperate to see. I see Liverpool going all the way this season again. They're consistent beyond words. They are.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we've sort of looked at them, haven't we, and gone, oh, well, they've dropped a bit from last season, but it was impossible not to. They were extraordinary last season. There's barely any for it. Run out of superlatives. They had to drop some sort of level in the Premier League this year. Salah has it. Alexander-Arnold, a little bit of space for Jones. He's going to work this one right, I'd have thought. Went narrow instead to Salah. Gallagher was there to make the block, but only as far as Jones. Henderson, Alexander-Arnold whips it in. Salah underneath it, heads it over the crossbar.
A difficult angle for Salah. Just trying to almost glance it and flick it on towards goal. Never really on, but Carroll sent a lovely picture.
I was just about to say I've seen that.
From a Florida Gulf Coast. It looks beautiful. Sunrise and sunset. Absolutely beautiful. That's right on my street, that.
You're going to get loads of these. Absolutely loads of them. We've only got 63,000 followers. If everybody sends you a picture of where they're listening from.
They can't all live on the beach, surely.
No, just wherever they are. Let's fill up your notifications. Here's Fabinho. Make you feel popular at Christmas.
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you used to like this Christmas period? I
never used to run that far in games, so I could play three games in 5 or 6 days. It was never a problem to me, so I used to love it.
Yeah. Down the right hand side the ball goes, looking for Jones. That one's too far. Johnston prevents the goal kick. He'll be able to pick it up and play it from his hands if he wishes. It's a minute and a half to go. Yeah, he is. Why not? Minute and a half to go till the break, plus stoppage time. And West Brom, well, I mean, it's a quiet Anfield. You know, yes, there are 2,000 people in, so it's never going to be really loud, but it's a quiet Anfield because actually, in a way, they've done what they wanted to do, haven't they?
Sam Johnstone hasn't had a save to make. He's had to pick the ball out of the net once, but he hasn't had a save to make.
Conor Gallagher trying to get away from Jones. We're in Liverpool's half. We need a klaxon. We're in the Liverpool half, but he's run it out of play. It's a throw in, and you're about to hear the klaxon as the ball goes back into the West Brom half. Here you go. It's with Wijnaldum. There you go, back in the West Brom half. It's with Robertson on the left side. Lovely skill to get away from Robinson. Cross comes into the edge of the 6-yard box. There's O'Shea. Sawyers fighting for it. Can't prevent Henderson taking over. Rare foray down the left for him. Takes it towards the corner flag. Sawyers is there, nicks it off of him. I quite like Sawyers as a player.
I do.
I think there's much more to him than he's been able to show today.
Absolutely. I think he's so much more than the defensive midfielder, which is where he seems to be played. He's a central midfielder who can control games and has got a lovely range of passing.
Raphael's been back in touch about his Christmas dinner. He says it's a beef sauce. They call it ponmo in Nigeria, called Haydn skin. It's better with white rice, but the meat is the real deal, he says, as we move into a minute of stoppage time. When I'm in Nigeria next, I'm coming over for some. Sawyers passed it straight to Salah there. That's poor from him. And it's on to Curtis Jones. Tried to trick. Sawyers has done well to get back there. Really well, actually. Holds off Jones. And the man from St Kitts and Nevis then spreads a nice pass into the Liverpool half again to Grant, high up on the left-hand side. Can West Brom provide one opportunity before half-time? They've got 20 seconds to do it. They've got no intention of even trying.
He's going to go back to the goalkeeper here soon.
O'Shea. It's a good ball up to Diangana. Holding it. Holding on to it. Nowhere to go. Sawyers slips it up to Grant. That's a nice turn by Grant. Can he slip in? A chance here. Down the left-hand side. Wrong option. There was a shooting opportunity.
Offside, Matt Phillips.
Oh, and Phillips wasted it. I think you might be right. The offside flag might have gone up. It doesn't matter. The half-time whistle has gone, but you just wondered, didn't you, whether West Brom might have gone in there and punished a momentary lapse of concentration at the back by Liverpool. It hasn't happened. The good news for West Brom fans is that the ultra-defensive tactics of Sam Allardyce are working to an extent. It's merely at half-time. Liverpool 1, West Bromwich Albion 0, and you're listening to Premier League Live.
This Christmas, get all the non-stop Premier League action with a Now TV, Sky Sports or Sports Extra pack. Watch over 40 games this December with the biggest names in the league.
Gets it from Fernandes.
Stream every game or only pay for the ones you want. Your sport on your terms with Now TV. 18 plus ROI only. Month passes sold separately and auto-renew. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Terms apply.
Introducing Guardson Sport. Protect your sporting equipment from COVID-19 for up to 14 days with Guardson Sport disinfectant treatment. Ideal in team sport settings with the sharing of balls, rackets, gloves, helmets and all other sporting equipment. Guardson Sport kills COVID-19 on impact, keeping surfaces free from COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria for up to 14 days by creating a protective polymer layer on application. For more information on Guardson Sport and other quality assured, certified and approved PPE, visit yourcovidprotection.com.
Create the Premier League atmosphere at home with Harvey Norman, the home of the big screen. Feel like you're on the pitch with our stunning range of 4K smart LED and OLED TVs from LG, starting from just $449. Plus, hear every kick, save, tackle, decision with LG's best-in-class soundbars. Get TV ready for all the big games with Harvey Norman. Shop online today or safely in our spacious stores. Harvey Norman, home of the big screen.
Let's talk about you looking after your business. Ford, looking after your vehicle. Let's talk hassle-free Ford leasing. Just a fixed monthly payment, no motor tax to deal with, and no maintenance or servicing to pay on selected plans. Get the Ford Transit Custom from €290 per month. Hassle-free Ford lease. Now we're talking. Search Ford Lease or text Ford to 50015 to speak to us about leasing your next vehicle.
Text cost to standard rate. Price quoted for Transit Custom Base with no maintenance over 4 years with 3 monthly rentals in advance. 20,000 kilometres per annum. Business users only. Price excludes VAT. Ford Lease is provided by Merriam Fleet Management, trading as Ford Lease.
123inc.ie have your office needs covered. So whether you're an accountant, butcher, carpenter, dentist, electrician, florist, graphic designer, hairdresser, journalist, lecturer, musician, optician, retailer, teacher, solicitor, web designer, or yoga instructor, we've got what you need. And we're cheaper than your current supplier. 123inc.ie. For home, for office, for less.
At Paddy Power, we know competition for the remote control can be fierce at the weekends. So in order to give the non-football loving occupants of your house something to do, here are some of our top suggestions. Go for a walk. Walk the dog. Go cycling. Cycle the dog. Recycle the dog. Just go! All very good options, we say. And that's not the only one. If one leg of your 4+ fold ACCA lets you down, get a free bet on all football leagues and markets. Paddy Power. Max free bet €10. Min odds 1 to 5 on each leg. Online exclusive. Excludes shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18+. Need help? Visit gamblingcare.ie.
Well, West Brom came to Anfield to frustrate, and to an extent it's working.
Fabinho might as well come and play central midfield.
He might as well. Matip, ball into Mane! Brilliant! 1-0 Liverpool, first shot on target, first goal. Now West Brom can start playing. Super easy, and it was a straight ball, but it was a brilliant touch by Sadio Mane to bring it down, and then on the half volley, smacks it past Sam Johnstone. How many do Liverpool fancy? How long can West Brom kick them out? Liverpool 1, West Brom 0.
This is really poor defending. Semi Ajayi just needs to stay behind him and stay goal side, and he can't possibly score.
6th Premier League goal of the season for Sadio Mane this season. Believe it or not, only his second at home. Salah on the right hand side gives it to Henderson. Gives it back to the diminutive Egyptian. Just some mutterings recently as to whether he might stay, as Henderson delivers the ball in, and Mane with the header. It's only just wide of Sam Johnstone's left hand post. West Brom get away with it again. Still Liverpool 1, West Brom 0.
Yeah, again it's Ajayi not quick enough with his movement, allows Mane to just get in front of him. The ball's low, so it's a stooping, almost diving header, just trying to glance it into the near corner. Just gets a little bit too much on it, wide of the goal.
Second half commentary on the way then of Liverpool against West Brom. Can West Brom muster up a shot of any sort? Can they get in Liverpool's half? We wait to find out, but as things stand, they are still very much in the game. Later on, we have got one more match for you on what is match day 15 in the Premier League, and it's finished by a cracker. Wolves against Tottenham. We can hear from the two managers now. Jose Mourinho coming up in a moment. First, the thoughts of Nuno Espirito Santo.
I have huge admiration, as you can imagine, for Mourinho on a personal level, and as a man. He's fantastic. So I'm not surprised at all. All the good things that he's doing in Tottenham at all. He's amazing.
It's very, very hard in this league to have consistent runs. It's very, very hard. Every game is very difficult. We were in a period where we had to play against the considered top 6 teams, where we got them in a row.
We are not in a good moment. We have issues. We are dragging issues from the game of Chelsea. Even in the game of Burnley, in the bench, there were players that we are not able to put on the pitch. And we have issues. Among them are Leander. He's improving, but he's not with the group yet.
But you think I'm competing against Liverpool, and I'm not competing against Liverpool. I'm competing against every opponent, every match. We want to win. That's as simple as that. We are not looking to Liverpool. We are not looking to anybody else. We are looking to the next match, and the next match we want to win.
Chris Perry, you're the chairman of a relatively big club in the Premier League, and you can pick one of the 2 Portuguese coaches to take charge of your side. Who are you going for?
It's a big question. I think you go for Mourinho. I think because he wins things. I think Nuno's a great coach and has done a fantastic job at Wolves, albeit they've spent a pretty big amount of money and brought in an awful lot of Portuguese players.
Yeah.
But I think Mourinho will win something at Spurs at some stage. It might be the League Cup, but they will win something. And I think that's what chairmen want.
Is there a ceiling to the system that Nuno has? You know, we all know what to expect from them, and it's then just, well, they get better almost by having better players playing it.
Yeah, there's certainly a little bit of that, without a doubt. I just think he needs to do something different now, Nuno. I think everyone's kind of worked out that they're going to play the 3 at the back. He doesn't really change his system. His system is what it is. And let's be honest, without Raul Jimenez at the top of that system, they're actually a pretty poor side.
Yeah, really good news that Raul Jimenez will be back in the crowd for that one. The first time he's gone back to Molineux to see this horrendous injury, that's the head injury that's going to keep him out for some time. But Tottenham will be looking to get back into the top four with victory there. Wolves would be looking to get somewhere towards the top half of the table. In fact, victory would just about take them into the top 10 after West Ham's draw with Brighton a little bit earlier on today. Look, Chris, let's focus back on our game then. Liverpool leading. I can't imagine Jurgen Klopp would be that impressed with his team somehow, though. Just the 1-0, and as you mentioned towards the half-time whistle, not a shot to save for Sam Johnstone.
It's always difficult when a team comes and as Sam Allardyce does, organises his team so well. They're playing so deep. Liverpool's strength is when teams attack them and there's space to exploit. They haven't been given that opportunity on more than maybe 2 occasions in the first half. It's actually so easy for basically the midfield players at Liverpool because they're under no pressure. They've got so much time on the ball, and it becomes difficult then to make the right decision and to suddenly lift the tempo. And that's what Liverpool has struggled with. And I think Jurgen Klopp will know in his head that they've already won this game if they just keep their concentration. But the threat is always there that one silly mistake and they could just get caught.
Is there any situation where Sam Allardyce will actually just take 1-0 and they'll just do this for the rest of the game, or will he try with 10 minutes to go to get a point if it's still this way?
I think if he keeps it to 1-0 with 10-15 minutes to go, I think you'll see maybe Charlie Austin come on and they go a little bit more direct and they try and get 2 up front and they try and just be a little bit more positive and see if they can win a few set pieces, get a few corners, get some balls into the penalty area. And like you said, Fabinho, not great in the air. Can they cause him some problems?
There's no situation then in your mind where Allardyce thinks actually losing 1-0 at Liverpool is better than trying to get something in the last 10 and being picked off for 4 or 5?
I don't think
he wouldn't accept a defeat, is what I'm asking.
I don't think he'd accept defeat. I think he wouldn't be too displeased with a 1-0 defeat. It doesn't look too bad, does it, going to Anfield, losing 1-0 when you think they put 7 past Crystal Palace last week. But I think he will want to have a go. Now, if it does get to 2 or 3-0, I could see him again sticking 10 men behind the ball and saying, right, that'll do. We're not going to get back in the game now.
Well, we wait to find out what Sam Allardyce does as this game goes on. The key for them will be to try and keep it tight in the early stages of this second period. They're only 1-0 down to the champions. Can Liverpool find a way past and turn this into a cricket score? We'll find out shortly. You're listening to Premier League Live.
The Premier League Live.
Here's the shot away! Goal!
With TalkSport.
Demanding a high performance from your team? You should be demanding the same from your tyres. The Irish Tyre Industry Association is urging motorists to stay safe this winter and check the condition of your tyres. You could even be liable for a fine and 2 penalty points if found driving with tyres below the legal tread depth limit of 1.6 millimetres. ITIA expert technicians will carry out a free tyre safety check to ensure your tyres are safe and legal. Visit itia.ie to find your local expert.
As Ireland's homegrown insurer, FPD knows it's empowering when someone has your back. So switch your van insurance to us and get up to 75% no-claim discount. Visit fbd.ie to request a quote. FPD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms, conditions and underwriting criteria apply. 75% no-claims discount is based on proof of 5 years no-claims discount and available to new commercial motor customers only. FPD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FPD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FPD Insurance PLC.
This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other. Erscoa Kayla. Ireland is working online with help from Black Knight and .ie, because now we need better than business as usual. Call Black Knight on 059 918 3027 or visit blackknight.ie.
Certainty. With Volkswagen commercial vehicles, it's included as standard. Quality, performance, reliability, and now with purchase contributions of up to €3,500 and service plans from $999. For vans and offers you can rely on, always. Contact your local Volkswagen commercial vehicles dealer or visit volkswagenvans.ie. T's and C's apply.
There's certain matchday sounds we are all missing. But there are others we don't have to. Is Carlsberg Pilsner the best beer to enjoy while watching the match at home? Probably. Carlsberg Pilsner. Probably the best beer in the world. Enjoy Carlsberg sensibly. Visit drinkaware.ie.
This Christmas, get all the Now TV, Sky Sports or Sports Extra Pack. Watch over 40 games this December with the biggest names in the league.
Gets it from Fernandes.
Stream every game or only pay for the ones you want. Your sport on your terms with Now TV. 18 plus ROI only. Month passes sold separately and auto-renew. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Terms apply.
The Premier League Live.
Oh, what a goal!
With TalkSport.
Welcome back to Liverpool against West Brom. TalkSport's coverage of this Premier League game from Anfield. I'm your match commentator today, Toby Gillis, alongside me, former Albion defender Chris Perry. This is Premier League Live. 1-0 to Liverpool. Sadio Mane's 12th minute goal, the difference. But that doesn't necessarily tell you that this has been an even contest. We did develop our own klaxon for when West Brom got into the Liverpool half at one stage.
I wonder whether Sam Allardyce, the West Brom players are currently warming up below us on the pitch and they're passing the ball about. I think that's because they haven't touched it in the first half.
Give them a feel of the ball. Rare opportunity, absolutely. Liverpool haven't hardly given the ball back to them, but there was just the odd sign, wasn't there, that there might be a defensive frailty for Liverpool, most notably with pretty much the last couple of kicks of the half, where West Brom actually had half an opportunity.
Yeah, Sadio Mane on a couple of occasions, Curtis Jones on a couple of occasions, just a little bit guilty of dwelling on the ball and making a poor decision, and they just had one or two opportunities on the counter-attack where they're going to have to get lucky because they're going to be so hard to get players up in support when they do get those chances. But if they can really take a chance and break their neck to get into the box, then they may get a goal.
Well, we will find out whether that at any point happens. Somebody has had time to teach Sam Allardyce how to wear a mask at half-time. He's made a rookie error in having chewing gum behind one. I've tried that a couple of times, and then you get the vapours up in your eyes and you start crying. West Brom fans, though, at the moment crying about their current Premier League situation, perhaps not about the way they've gone about their business in the first half, as Liverpool do get us underway for the second period, shooting from left to right in their red jerseys, red shorts, red socks. West Brom in their dark blue and white stripes, white shorts, blue socks, and there have been no changes at half-time. I'll give you the two teams when we get the opportunity, but Curtis Jones has the ball in the centre of midfield. In fact, probably got time now, as Alisson is the goalkeeper. West Brom do manage to get the ball back. Here's Sawyers. The rest of the defence for Liverpool: Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Fabinho, Robertson. Then it's Jones, Henderson and Wijnaldum in midfield, and then Salah, Firmino and Mane, who's in possession left side of the 18-yard box at the moment, gets the cross in towards Salah. Diving header away by O'Shea, picked up by Wijnaldum. There's the shot by Henderson. Johnston watched it, and it's only just flashed wide of Johnston's left-hand post.
Yeah, it's a lovely little setback to him from Jorginho Wijnaldum across the box, bounced up nicely, cuts across it with his right foot.
Might have taken a deflection,
trying to bend it into the far corner. I don't think it does. I think Dara O'Shea throws himself at it trying to get a deflection, but it was always bending wide.
And Johnston has got the goal kick, so I can quickly tell you their team. Johnston is the goalkeeper, and then it's sort of a 5-4-1, I guess, with Furlong, Ajayi, or 4-5-1. Furlong, Ajayi, O'Shea and Gibbs the back four. Then the midfield five is really Robinson, Gallagher, Sawyers, Diangana and Phillips, as Alexander-Arnold delivers the cross in, headed away by Gibbs. And then it's Ahearne-Grant nominally as a striker, who's the most advanced on the odd occasion they have got the ball and got it away. but frankly at times it's been a 5-5-0. Throw in over on the far side, midpoint of their own half for West Brom, to be taken by Darnell Furlong. Up towards Phillips, headed away from him by Wijnaldum. Another throw for West Brom further up the field, on just shy of halfway. On it goes, it's headed away by Robertson as far as Sawyers. That one's gone through Curtis Jones's legs. 3 Liverpool players all ran for it. It was Henderson that picked up, gave it to Matip. He'll bend it down the right-hand side. Salah uncharacteristically gives it away to Diangana. Played down the left-hand side by Gibbs carefully to Gallagher. Diangana's gone on. This is better from West Brom. Takes it down towards the bar, and Diangana's dived. That's a dive, and he should be booked. But Matip's got the ball, and he's not bothered to stop it as Kevin Friend. Who I always think bears an uncanny resemblance to another Kevin who works with us, Kevin Hatchard.
Absolutely, I've always thought that too.
This with Curtis Jones. Hope you're listening, Kev. Rare period where he can focus on the Premier League, because he's usually doing a lot of Bundesliga stuff. Roman Sawyers has it, slips it away to Grant. That's a bit nicer, and they can work it right for Robinson. Now he's got an opportunity to run it for Fabinho. He tried an early cross, and it's bounced back to him. Here's Sawyers. We are in the Liverpool half at the moment. Gallagher back into his own half for Ajayi. Steps away from Salah. Ajayi's forward ball to Robinson. This is already being popped about a little bit nicer for West Brom. Furlong delivers the ball in. Alisson has got the ball in his hands. Who'd have thought?
That's the first time he's used his hands in the whole game.
I think it is. 49th minute. And he's rolled it to his left-hand side for Fabinho. There's not even been any sort of overhit long passes, has there, that have ended up in his hands? Nothing. It really is. It's cold out as well, I'll tell you. One of those where you want to make sure your hands are warm if something does come your way. I remember interviewing Joe Hart once in the depths of winter after a Man City loss to Stoke, and the late goal had gone in and it went through his hands, and afterwards he fronted up, to be fair to him. We said, what happened there? And he said, I actually couldn't feel my hands.
Was that at Stoke?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, where else?
It's the coldest place on earth.
It really is horrendous. As Salah comes forward into Firmino. Lovely little 1-2 attempt, but he couldn't quite bend it back into the Egyptian's path, and Johnston rushes to the edge of his 6-yard box to pick up.
Yeah, Salah shrugs off the challenge of Gallagher, plays a little 1-2 with Firmino. The pass back from Firmino is just a little bit overhit, allows Sam Johnstone just to come and collect it, but very close to linking up with Salah there.
At TalkSport Live, if you want to give us your thoughts in the second half, or photos. We've had a few more coming in. Lovely picture of a lighthouse from Bradley Smart, not quite sure where that is. He says Liverpool will win this by 100 goals.
Without that,
I'm not sure that's going to happen anymore. Sam Allardyce doesn't ever really get beaten by 100 goals, to be fair to him. He's made an absolute trademark of saving teams from relegation, and you would not bet against him doing that with West Brom. This is the 5th club he's taken over mid-season in the Premier League. 2 of them were in the relegation zone when he arrived previously. This is a 3rd, but he's never been relegated.
I think he's got his work cut out this year, I really do.
Throw in by Furlong into the box, headed away by Fabinho. Back out as far as Furlong. Here's Gallagher, but he's having to be forced back there, and he's got to be careful. Tried to find O'Shea. He's rather sliced that to the far side. Lovely touch by Sawyers, that. And there's Furlong's delivery. Nice control by Grant. Grant with a shot that's straight down the throat of Alisson. Well, there was Diangana to his left in all sorts of space had he thought about it. But I suppose all good strikers' first instinct is shoot.
It was there to hit. It was there to hit. It was nice on the half volley on his left foot. Why not?
Liverpool down the other end already, though. Here's Mane, left side of the 18-yard box, tries to cut it back to Robertson. Didn't quite get that right, and West Brom can clear. Grant, though, runs into Matip.
I wonder.
Shepherd it to the far side, throw in for West Brom.
I just wonder whether Jurgen Klopp said to Liverpool, we're going to sit back a little bit and try and allow West Brom onto us a little bit to try and put this game to bed. It sounds silly, but will West Brom take the bait? Because Liverpool are certainly not as dominant. They're certainly sitting back a little bit deeper. Whether they're being forced back by West Brom or not is arguable, but I just think Liverpool need a team to attack them to be at their best.
Down the right hand side, a throw in for Furlong, just inside Liverpool's half, on by Robinson, away. That's terrible. Fabinho, but he's absolutely sliced it left-footed, straight out of play, out on the sideline, and this is now an attacking throw in for West Brom, which Furlong will be able to take.
And Ajayi is going into the box again.
Why not?
Into that near post area.
Stick him on for Fabinho, surely.
Wijnaldum seems to have that job at the moment.
Who's comes up to about his shoulder and towards Ajayi. On it goes, away by Fabinho. Gallagher picks it up, still high up. Can Furlong take on Robertson and get a cross in? Works it onto his left foot. There's the cross into the box. It goes. Ajayi's there, and he couldn't get any purchase on the header. It drops down to Alisson, and he's going to clear long. Header away by O'Shea, picked up by Gallagher in the centre circle. Curtis Jones behind him. One of those where you're just hassling and harrying, and eventually you're inevitably going to give away the free kick, which is what he does, and Sawyers will take it. In fact, he's going to leave it for O'Shea.
I wonder if they're just going to launch this long.
That's exactly what they're going to do. O'Shea down the left-hand side looking for Diangana. Diangana up against Trent Alexander-Arnold. Thought about the cross on his right foot, then cuts back onto his left. There's the deep cross. It's back in the mix here. Grant fighting for it. Oh, and it was Diangana in the box. Apologies, it had been Robinson on the left-hand side that was fighting for it. They really, from a distance, look the same. They've both got this blonde bombshell hair, and eventually an offside flag went up against Phillips, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. But there's definitely more to West Brom in this second half, whether it's by Liverpool's design or not.
At least they're showing a threat. When the ball comes in the box, they've actually look as though they're going to be the ones who are going to get first contact. Liverpool certainly don't look comfortable defending crosses into the penalty area.
Fabinho high ball towards the left hand side, easily dealt with by West Brom, but Robinson's clearance is picked up by Henderson. Wijnaldum to the left of the centre circle, now into it to Matip, to the right for Jones. Alexander-Arnold. It was 82% possession first half for Liverpool. In the second half so far, 60-40. So certainly they've been prepared to give the ball away a little more. 10 minutes nearly up of the second half. Still Liverpool 1-0 up. Salah can't quite turn it into the path of Wijnaldum, and then he's gone in behind Sawyers, nicked it off of him, but illegally. One of the quieter games from Salah.
He's a fantastic goal scorer, Mo Salah, but I think he can do a lot more for his team than he actually gives at times. I think some of his play today with his back to goal has been really poor.
A snarling Jurgen Klopp on the sidelines suddenly turns into a beaming smile as he has some conversation with Anthony Taylor, the fourth official, as Diangana's done really well to hold the ball up and keep it in on this near side. Then Robinson's with him. Down the left it comes for Gibbs. Here's Gallagher. This is nice by West Brom, although a little trick by Diangana didn't come off, and Matip can come away with it. To Firmino. Firmino up towards Salah. Blocked on the near side here by O'Shea. Two red shirts around him, and he's given the ball away. And here's Henderson. O'Shea's gone through him and not got the ball from behind. He'll do well to avoid a yellow card if that's a foul, and that's exactly what the referee has decided for the young, quite impressive I have to say, 21-year-old Irish centre-half.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? I think he gets an awful lot of the ball here. Yeah. Does he get... Oh, he doesn't get a lot of Henderson at all. I mean, it's a really good tackle.
Yeah, I think he's unfortunate there. It was one of those where you knew if he was going to give the free kick, he'd also have to give the yellow card. Free kick taken quickly, too quickly for the referee's liking. It was a nice idea that. Jones would have been able to get away. Robertson and Alexander-Arnold over it. At TalkSport Live, your way to get in touch with us if you want to give us your predictions, your thoughts perhaps on Sam Allardyce's tactics. O'Shea is underneath the ball into the box there, and Sawyers will pick up the loose ball, gives it to Phillips on the right hand side. Phillips down the right for Robinson, and he's given him it back again. Robinson, what's the cross like? Hits Firmino. Matip's there, walloped it really against Firmino.
Oh, Matip's injured.
Matip, yeah. Oh, he's
groin, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't look happy, although he's now waved over to the bench again and said, no, I don't need any treatment, and now he will. He's gone down. Did that in where the sun don't shine?
I don't think so. I think that was before.
You can hear Jurgen Klopp billowing across Anfield. 100% sure how this happened here, so we'll see it now. The cross came in from the right hand side. It hit Firmino. Matip came across.
When he tried to turn there, maybe.
The very, very top of his right leg.
Yeah.
The inside top of his right leg, groin area, I'm not sure.
They've got Nathaniel Phillips and Reece Williams on the bench, haven't they? So, two young players who could come and fit in there quite comfortably.
I think that the Nathaniel Phillips story is quite an amazing one, really, because there's no doubt they were ready to let him go in the summer. Absolutely no doubt. Spent time on loan with Stuttgart in Germany last season, got promoted from the second tier into the Bundesliga. Wasn't really a regular with them even, only 22 appearances. And well, it's not Phillips who's being selected, it's Reece Williams who would be the man to come on if Matip can't continue. So the centre-back problems continue to mount for Liverpool. Still no Gomez, still no Van Dijk, of course, potentially for the season. And he's walking off, so that's a good sign. Haven't seen the international symbol for a substitution yet, have you?
I think he's coming off here, almost certainly.
Well, certainly Reece Williams is stripped and readied. The 19-year-old about to make his 10th Liverpool appearance. So Matip, the man who's got the assist for the only goal of the game, feels a long time ago now, in the 12th minute, is to be taken off. And this is really a bit of a symbol of his Liverpool career, isn't it? Every time he's got going, he's lost his place to either injury or when another player has just taken Jurgen Klopp's eye. And this must have felt like an opportunity for him, but again, an injury trouble. And Reece Williams is on to come and try and ensure that West Brom don't make any inroads into their defence. Liverpool still leading 1-0 then, very nearly at the hour mark, and it's still 1-0. Klaus Feldum has been in touch. He says prediction will be 3-0, and he's adding a Salah and Jones goal for this evening. Listening in from Atlanta, as Williams gets his first touch, just defensive edge of the centre circle, moves it on to Henderson. Henderson out to the right for Alexander-Arnold. Henderson again in towards Firmino, had made one of those clever runs into the 18-yard box, and then the back heel to Salah. This is lovely by Liverpool. Henderson back out to Alexander-Arnold, trying to take on Diangana, and it just rolled off of Diangana and kindly for West Brom. And then Williams with the nudge on Ahearne-Grant, and Jurgen Klopp is furious about that decision.
I'm not sure that's a foul. Gets nice and tight. Reece Williams wins the ball. It's a poor touch from Ahearne-Grant. Certainly Jurgen Klopp is fuming.
Really, really angry, and I think he's going to get a yellow card for it. Yeah, Kevin Friend comes over and shows manager Jurgen Klopp a yellow card for back chat, basically.
Doesn't do anything wrong there, Reece Williams. It's never been a free kick. And that's the centre-back in me talking, I think, but he does nothing there, Reece Williams. He just stands up, he's stronger. Ahearne-Grant almost slips.
Sawyers gives it to Phillips.
Look at referees just evening it up straight away.
That was not a handball either, was it?
No.
Absolutely not, and the fans are loving it, and you can hear the ironic cheering. Francis has been in touch, listening in from Port Harcourt. He says, I think Big Sam will definitely save West Brom. Liverpool should be careful not to drop points here. 1 goal would be enough. And 1 goal for Liverpool, he says, is not enough.
Well, they've only kept 4 clean sheets this season in the Premier League, Liverpool.
Yep. Yeah, they do tend to concede, even at home, with their magnificent 100% home record this season. 7 wins in a row. They've actually won their last 8 in the league. As Jones comes forward, can he find a gap to Robertson? He can. His cross-come shot is blocked. And then there's an offside flag.
Yeah, was Robertson offside? I think he was. It's a really good, incisive pass from Curtis Jones. Just could he have released it a little bit earlier? Just offside.
If Wijnaldum went, I'm not sure Jones is the answer, is he yet? Have they got the answer in the squad? I suppose that's a better question. Keita?
I think they'd argue Keita. They'd argue Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, if he can get himself fit, would maybe be a similar type player in terms of energy.
I asked you this off-air before the game as well. What about Alexander-Arnold?
Yeah,
there was a lot of talk, wasn't there, at one stage?
Not for me in centre midfield, no. I could see him playing wide on the right. Maybe where Salah's playing, if Salah was to go. I mean, they've got Nico Williams, who's a right back, who's very close to the first team, obviously on the bench today.
Yeah, he's had a little bit of first team experience as Nico Williams. There'll be no commentator wanting Reece and Nico to become regulars in the first team because it's
playing
not fun.
Next to each other as well.
Yeah, nobody enjoys that. It's bad enough with Robinson and Robertson opposite each other on the field today. It's with Alexander-Arnold now, midpoint of the West Brom half, coming in from the right-hand side. Sawyers had a decent game, I think, quietly as Sawyers today, and he's played that in behind the defence, overhit it. Alisson with plenty of time to come out and clear into touch on the near side.
Yeah, that was actually a chance for Romain Sawyers. He did really well to win the ball back off of Alexander-Arnold, drove forward, and he just overhit the pass when there was lots of space to put it into for Grant. If he just underhits that a little bit, Grant is in.
Throw in to be taken on the near side by Gibbs. Sawyers loses out though in the midfield to Jones. Up to the right hand side for Salah. Salah, right side of the 18-yard box. Into it he goes, tries to stab the ball into the 6-yard box. They get a bit fortunate. Ajayi, it really rather stuck under his studs there. And he's gone, okay, I'm not going to take any risks. Behind it goes, corner to Liverpool.
Yeah, safety first, wasn't it? Salah there, though, in those positions, desperate to get it onto his left foot, will not go on his right. And actually, the ball he picks out is a really poor one.
Liverpool's 14 games so far this season have contained 55 goals. It's 3.9 per game. That's the most in England. Can they make number 2 here? Robertson's corner. Wijnaldum will chase it out to the far side. Back to Henderson, stabbed low into the 18-yard box, rolling gently towards Mane. His cross is blocked, back out to Wijnaldum. There's the cross, there's Salah. You'd expect him to at least get that on target, and he's put it over the crossbar.
Some lovely ball in from Wijnaldum, set back to him. Just puts it in first time. Mo Salah, middle of the penalty area, 10 yards out. Has to do better there. He gets underneath it, needs to head it low and on target either side of the goalkeeper, and he scores.
Looks up to the heavens, the man with 13 Premier League goals so far this season. It's not happening for him so far today. This must be the sort of game that Jurgen Klopp basically hasn't experienced much of in his entire managerial career, and that will be why Sam Allardyce has got such a decent record against him. He doesn't know how to face it. And it's really the quality of his players that have got them their one goal, which was Sadio Mane's brilliant chest control and finish. Back in the 12th minute, we're at 66 now, and it's Liverpool 1, West Brom 0 still. And you predicted it, didn't you, Chris? You said he'd take 1-0 up to the 80th minute and then maybe. And you said that right from the start, and it's exactly how it's turned out so far.
He set up his team to stay in the game and give themselves a chance of winning it. And at the moment, they've got that.
Gallagher has it, inside left, inside his own half. Up to the Liverpool half it goes. Grant chasing it with Williams, who's got this slightly awkward running style. Head nodding, and he got it back to Alisson.
Very languid type player.
Yeah.
Long legs.
He looks like he's not running quickly even when he's sprinting, doesn't he? He's one of those slightly strange gait. Alexander-Arnold has it on the right-hand side into Firmino. Quiet from him. 3 goals in his last 2 games. Alexander-Arnold back to Henderson. In it goes to Firmino. Salah takes over. Even one of his tricks won't come off. Gallagher clears towards Grant. Reece Williams will go carefully back to Alisson. Fabinho. Time ticking by slowly if you're a Liverpool fan. Might be an element of nerves about this, an opportunity you'd feel you wouldn't want to waste to go 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League tonight. Salah, he spotted a gap to the left side. Robertson nodded it into the edge of the 6-yard box, but Johnstone was always going to be favourite.
It's those fullbacks that have really caused the problems when they get forward. Probably just offside, would have been very close. But Firmino is just on the edge of the box. He needs to be getting into those areas in the middle of the goal where he's going to score goals, and that's why he maybe doesn't score as many goals as he should do.
Robinson into the middle of the field for Grant. Ball midpoint of the Liverpool half. Out to the right by Gallagher to Furlong. That's nice down the right hand side for Robinson, and he spotted Diangana. That really was a chance for West Brom, and he's taken it first time, left foot volley, and he's smashed it well wide.
Yeah, Robinson is onside, times his run really well, cuts it back to the edge of the box where Diangana comes onto it on his left foot on the volley, and he makes a horrific opportunity of it. He just drags it wide into the floor off the bottom of his ankle.
Lucky that the contact comes. I think he knows it as well.
Yeah.
He's got a slight smug look on his face there. Header away by Fabinho. Diangana can't make it stick in the centre circle though. Firmino to Jones. Nice turn away from Diangana. Jones, Firmino back onto Jones, and I think West Brom will deal with this. They will. Gibbs slides away to the near side.
Romain Sawyers wanted a foul there.
Throw in taken. They're going to get another one. Just 20 minutes plus stoppage time left for play. Nesco T at TalkSport Live, he's been in touch. I'm really enjoying your commentary, very kind of you to say. I won't be surprised if this match ends in a 1-1 draw. This West Brom defence is a rock. Listening from Nigeria, yeah, but where's the goal coming from? That's the question. At TalkSport Live, if you want to be part of the conversation. Robertson, 15 yards inside Liverpool, inside West Brom's half, on the left, as always. Up the line it goes for Mane. Sadio Mane tries the cross, takes a little deflection off of Matt Phillips, runs back for those in red. It's Firmino from the left. Again, there's just too many bodies to get through.
I think this game's
can't get past a wall, can you?
It's difficult when you've got this many men behind the ball. It's always been difficult, and it's this type of game that I think Jurgen Klopp brought in Thiago for. Thiago has that ability to split open defences with a pass, and that's what they're missing. It really is what they're missing today. It's very, very predictable what they're doing.
He's slowly coming back, Thiago. There was a very small chance he could have been involved today, but they've not got him on the bench. The rest of Liverpool's bench is...
You can argue someone like Shaqiri can make a difference today.
Well, he's only just back from injury as well, as another ball goes into the West Brom box. It does seem that these crosses... I mean, that's kind of what West Brom would want. There's a good ball forward by Sawyers, and Grant's through here. Grant, one-on-one with the keeper. Alisson stood big. Absolutely huge opportunity for West Brom, and Grant's wasted it.
Well, he had so much pace there compared to Reece Williams, and beats him to the ball, gets through, just has to slot it either side of Alisson, and it's a goal. It's a good save by the Brazilian keeper, but real worry for Liverpool how easy that was to get Grant in.
And that will give them a lift, West Brom. They have it on the left with Diangana. Step over, then tries to run Henderson. Firmino comes back at him. Is that a foul? I think it is. Yeah, free kick to the back.
Sam Allardyce is screaming at Grant to come and play this side against Reece Williams after seeing that, because he has absolutely given him 5 yards and gone past him for pace. That is a complete mismatch, and if West Brom keep putting the ball down that side of the pitch, Grant will get chances.
I can't decide if Grant is lightning quick or if Williams is a slow coach.
Grant isn't lightning. He's sharp. He's not lightning quick, but Reece Williams looked pretty slow there.
I always remember the moment that Gary Pallister decided that it was time to quit. Do you remember the Michael Owen run past him where he gave him about 10 yards?
He can do that to anyone.
And burst past Gary Pallister. And at that point he said, you know what, probably this might be my last season for Man United. It looked like that. And Reece Williams is 19.
Yeah, absolutely.
Robinson's last involvement, that he is off, and they're bringing on Matheus Pereira, who is back from injury, back from suspension, I should say, and arguably their most creative player, so maybe that will help them out as Williams wins a header this time. Back in it goes by Gallagher, might drop to Ajayi in the 18-yard box, juggles with it off his head, takes it to the byline, there's the cross. Has it gone behind off of Mane? It has. Corner to West Brom, and you just heard Sam Allardyce said the distinctive tone, come on boys. He thinks there's something in this for West Brom.
There is something in there, without a doubt. They can't allow chances like the quality of Grant's to go, but
the Baggies' first corner of the game, what's the quality like? Awful, straight at the keeper. What a waste, and that will infuriate Sam Allardyce. The good news for me is we know that the man with the blonde hair is Diangana, because I think I've got that wrong about 100 times so far in this game. Wijnaldum has it in the centre circle, puts on a burst of speed and rolls it to Salah 3 yards to his right. Henderson, Alexander-Arnold back into his own half for Williams. And they'll know that the Liverpool players will know that about Williams as well now, and they'll know they can't really leave him alone with Grant. So it's one less player attacking for Liverpool, and that'll help West Brom as well. Or at least one less player quite so high up the pitch, because they'll be concerned about that, the Liverpool players.
Yeah, and they should be as well.
Jones. Williams is by far the deepest player. Right on the halfway line, the only one. Wijnaldum quickly turns it away from Phillips and to his right hand side for Henderson. Alexander-Arnold, Henderson. Second half, shots on target, 2 for West Brom, none for Liverpool.
Liverpool, when you think it's one mistake that's cost West Brom the game so far. Semi Ajayi, if he had stayed behind Sadio Mane, this would be 0-0.
Into the final 15 minutes of this game. The last 6th, if you like, and Liverpool have really, really struggled to get past West Brom today.
But these are the games that champions win 1-0. You probably score a second in the last
Firmino.
minute.
Salah can't get past Ajayi, cleared as far as Henderson. In it goes towards Mane. Furlong was very, very lucky that he didn't touch Mane a bit more heavily there in the box, and then he suddenly put his arms behind his back. Back it comes to Henderson, high out towards Alexander-Arnold, volleyed cross and volleyed clearance by Pereira up to Grant. Decent first touch, finds Sawyers into Diangana. If he could have played it first time, I'm not sure if it was just behind him or if he just caught it on the back of his heel. Then they go up towards Grant, and that's the one thing that Grant won't do, is beat Williams in the air.
No.
And Williams headed that one away, and then a poor ball given away by Sawyers, and here come Liverpool. Henderson, midpoint of the West Brom half, a little bit slow, up to Firmino. Can he hold off the West Brom defenders? He couldn't, but the referee had decided that he was playing an advantage for a challenge earlier on Henderson, and he brings it back for the free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, it's just Conor Gallagher was a tiny bit late on Jordan Henderson. It's maybe a little bit far to shoot this one.
Yeah, 20-25 yards outside the 18-yard box, I'd say.
Very central.
One of those, if you do shoot, you sort of get it to dip in front of the keeper and hope for a spill.
It's probably right on the edge of Alexander-Arnold, Henderson and Salah all around the ball again.
Where's Roberto Carlos when you need him?
Yeah, his distance was a little bit further than that, wasn't it?
Mind you, if you can get the ball to move like a snake in the air, then it probably doesn't matter how far out it is, it can outfox a keeper. Looks more like they're going to try and deliver something in, because I think it needs a longer run-up than Alexander-Arnold's offering. No, he's gone for it. It's just over the bar.
Away. It wasn't far away, but Sam Johnstone was always confident. You could see the way he was going across the goal. Never dived, always confident. It was just going wide.
at TalkSport Live. I almost want to put a poll up. Will West Brom get a goal? If they do, you'd almost fancy the draw here. Change being made by Sam Allardyce. And it's Matt Phillips.
And you know what? You lose everything now. Because Charlie Austin is not going to run Reece Williams.
Yeah, apologies. It is Ahearne-Grant coming off.
That for me is just not the thing to do. Unless Charlie Austin comes on and scores you he's not going to run the channels like Ahearne-Grant did. He's not going to give Reece Williams a problem
He's
in
a
behind.
poacher, isn't he? That's what Austin
is. He's a poacher, yeah, but to do that you've got to have possession in the box and you've got to be raining balls into the penalty area.
Yeah. And that's
might get a corner here.
Might just, yeah. Alisson can't prevent it. Robertson with the air kick, just sliced off the top of his foot. Austin with it's just his 4th appearance of the season. He's not sharp yet. He got 11 goals last season, their top scorer as they came up, but only 3 in his last 26 appearances. Can Pereira deliver a better ball than the last one, which went straight into the arms of Alisson for just their second corner of the game? Here it comes. Header by Fabinho's away. Gallagher back in. Now they might be able to break because Henderson's won it. And here's Jones coming up over the halfway line.
He's got to play it forward quicker.
Jones up to Mane. Mane's touch brings him back towards Pereira, and the shape of West Brom is back, although Henderson's flick to Salah might help them out. Salah into the 18-yard box. He's just allowed ditch, and he's turned it back to, I think it was Gibbs, who's just smacked it away into touch.
Yeah, 2 missed opportunities there for Liverpool really on the counter-attack. The first one, Curtis Jones, was just too slow to play the pass. Just wanted too much time on the ball. And the second one, Mo Salah, again, he's just so predictable. Desperate to come onto his left foot, and Diangana knew that and just nicked it off him.
Kieran Gibbs, by the way, has got an incredible record against Liverpool. Over the course of his career, he's played them 13 times. He's only lost once. Moment heading for a second, but you certainly wouldn't put an awful lot of money on it at this moment in time. There's no guarantees, as Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is being readied by the head coach of the champions, Jurgen Klopp.
It's going to be interesting, this one. I'd take off Curtis Jones. I think he's been poor today.
Yeah, I'd agree. Williams' header down, found Gallagher, and he's shown great tenacity to emerge with the ball. Ajayi, Furlong, Ajayi. There's the ball up to Phillips. Phillips holding it up, turning it back into his own half, but a bit of space in the centre circle for O'Shea. Clips towards the right hand side for Furlong. Early ball into the box towards Austin. It was just beyond him. That was a nice ball, that, by Furlong, and it's passed away by Alexander-Arnold on the near side.
Brilliant from Furlong, it really was. Touched with his chest, whipped it in first time.
Has Jones made the error here? Will it fall for the striker Austin? No, but Reece Williams has had to head it behind for a corner, and West Brom are doing quite literally what Chris Perry said they'd do this whole game, which is get to the final 10, still be in it, and suddenly they'll have a bit of a go.
Liverpool are giving them chances. They're giving them opportunities.
There's panic there, isn't there, at times?
Definitely. They don't look comfortable at the back at all.
Short corner, comes back to Pereira.
Chance.
There's the cross. Ajayi! It's off the post and in! Semi Ajayi has got the equaliser for West Brom! The man who made the error to allow Mane in 12 in the game and give Liverpool the lead has atoned for his error. It went in via the post. Alisson thought it was staying out, but has rolled behind him and crept in. Liverpool 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Sam Allardyce masterclass.
Is he offside? Is he offside when this comes in? I think he's offside.
I think you're right.
I think he might be offside here.
Honestly,
how it's gone in. It's a brilliant header in off the post. It's a foul. For me, it's a foul on Fabinho anyway. They won't give the foul, but he might be offside.
Well, we wait. We wait and see. Has Allardyce got his first goal as West Brom coach? Or is VAR going to rule it out? Oxlade-Chamberlain is on. 4, as we suspected.
They've given the goal.
It's been given.
Obviously wasn't it? I mean, he looked very, very close to being offside. Be interesting to actually see the lines on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he actually looked quite a way offside for me once he got the ball. But it has been given. All goals are checked, remember, so there will be no doubt that he's not. And suddenly the champions are pegged back, and this could be quite the story. Certainly the Boxing Day weekend story, without a doubt. Unless, here's Mane high up the field, and they've got a corner, I think, Liverpool here. Pereira's saying that should be a goal kick.
No, well,
not a chance.
You can pull over. I don't think you can pull over the eyes of the referee there. I mean, that really was a blatant corner, but Liverpool have only got themselves to blame.
Suddenly you can hear the 2,000 fans making some noise as well. Here comes the corner. In it goes towards Firmino. It's going to be headed away, and then Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain with the volleyed effort high over the crossbar.
Well, Liverpool haven't given themselves a lot of time to get back into this game. They really haven't. Jurgen Klopp will be really fuming with his team. I mean, he's got a smile on his face down below us, but there's no way West Brom should be in this game.
I mean, is this brilliance from West Brom, or are Liverpool under par today?
Liverpool have been under par. I think to have the amount of possession and the amount of opportunities they've had, and when you think about it, created as little as they have,
they could win this, West Brom.
They can win this, absolutely they can.
Here's Wijnaldum coming back to the keeper Alisson. There are 6 minutes for another goal. I mean, a draw is one of the stories of the season for West Brom.
It's a fantastic point in terms of morale and what it's going to give them going into the rest of the season.
Well, it makes all the hard work worth it, doesn't it? You know, we said these players won't fancy this. This is not what they want to do. As the ball bounces awkwardly, from a Alexander-Arnold cross, it took a deflection. It bounced higher than I think Johnston expected, and he had to backtrack to make sure it didn't drop inside his goal.
Yeah, he just misjudged the bounce, didn't he? But comfortable in the end for Sam Johnstone. Always in control. He'll tell you anyway.
Yeah, crikey, it was a nervy moment, I thought. Johnston away. Underneath it is Ajayi. Goes in with Wijnaldum. Might come loose for the baggies here. Here's Phillips trying to slip in Austin behind, but dealt with by Robertson. Mane has it. Robertson, midpoint of his own half, coming from the left touchline into the middle for Williams. Williams over the halfway line. Alexander-Arnold outside of him. Suspect that's where it's going. Yes. Alexander-Arnold now moving infield himself away from Diangana. You can see the shape that's been drilled into Sam Allardyce's players here, haven't he? Diangana went with him and then thought, no, I'd be vacating my space. I'm going to let him go, and then someone else has to deal with him. That's the job. Mane. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain up towards the edge of the box, shoots, takes a deflection. Diangana with a toe. Oxlade-Chamberlain wins it back, gives it back to Reece Williams, but here's Alexander-Arnold. Chest control by Salah lets him down. Gallagher emerges with it. Diangana up towards Austin. He slides in, but can only slide it out of play near side for a throw. Roosevelt Franklin has been in touch. When Liverpool finish 4th in the league, they'll look back at this game. I'll bet you anything, Roosevelt Franklin, that Liverpool don't finish as low as 4th. Here's Mane. Robertson. Henderson. Out to the right. High up the field for Alexander-Arnold. Gets it back from Henderson. Alexander-Arnold's cross. Too deep for Mane. Found over on the far side by Robertson. 3.5 minutes for Liverpool to find a goal to win this game. Mane.
No, you're not going to
being held? He thinks he was.
You're never going to get a penalty for that.
And it's just dribbled behind for Sam Johnstone to pick up. No, not in a million years.
No, he does get a little bit too tight there, Daniel Furlong, but he's just holding his ground really as Mane tries to turn.
Long ball away by Johnston. Fabinho awkward up and under, and find its way to Alisson. Somehow it's Liverpool 1, West Brom 1. Somehow.
And Liverpool just haven't made Sam Johnstone make saves.
Here's Oxlade-Chamberlain on the right. Into Firmino, edge of the box. Now Salah twisting. Can't get in. Gallagher away. Every time they clear it, it wastes a few more seconds. Alisson gives it to Fabinho, left side.
into the centre circle for Reece Williams. Williams to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Up it goes to Mo Salah. Is it going to be a bit of brilliance that wins it? Tackled by Gibbs. Sawyers. He's the calmest player in the West Brom team, isn't he, Sawyers?
He's a good player, Romain Sawyers. He really is.
Phillips comes back to Ajayi. Ball up towards Pereira. Sawyers will pick up the loose ball. He's going to release Pereira. That's definitely offside.
He's offside.
I mean, he's going. He's still continuing, but the offside flag will come up. He's tried to find Austin. Alexander-Arnold is back to deal with it. And finally the flag goes up. It's lunacy. Because it wastes Liverpool's time.
Absolutely.
There's no advantage to it. It was a long way off. Pereira, I'd say 3 yards. Good pass by Sawyers again.
Yeah, again.
He's absolutely got that in his locker. But Liverpool coming at them. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Gallagher's been immense today.
He's a good player.
And he's won that ball. And Ajayi will step out of defence. They've got confidence now. And Ajayi goes on. Austin's available. Early ball to Austin. And Alisson was there. Ajayi's got to get back quickly because he's out of position. This is the shape that West Brom need. Oxlade-Chamberlain moves it left for Robertson. Now here's Sadio Mane. A minute plus stoppage time left for play. Mane moves to Alexander-Arnold. 3 in the box to aim for. Instead it's Oxlade-Chamberlain. Deep ball. Robertson's header.
What a save.
It was Firmino's header, apologies, but Johnstone got a touch on it. I wonder whether he might have been offside anyway. But it's a great header by Firmino.
He's onside.
He's
it's
definitely
a brilliant ball from Chamberlain. And it's a brilliant save from Sam Johnstone.
Magnificent save.
It really is, because that's the first save he's really had to make. And that is outstanding, the way he throws himself to his left-hand side as it bounces and helps it around the post.
And I think that might be Firmino's last involvement. It is. And it's Origi who's going to come on now. Origi has scored. Stoppage time winner for Liverpool in the past against West Brom. That ball came in towards Williams and he's headed it over.
That's a chance for Reece Williams. Just gets in ahead of the defender. Just has to guide it on target and ends up getting underneath it over Sam Johnstone's crossbar. But the save from Firmino was absolutely outstanding. It really was a good header from Firmino, aiming for the far corner, bounced it into the floor, and the fingertips were so strong from Johnstone.
We are into stoppage time. Johnstone is taking as much of it as he can already with this goal kick. Are West Brom heading for what is quite frankly a bonus point in the Premier League, away at Liverpool? What would be their 5th draw of the season and just their 8th point of the campaign. Branislav Ivanovic is coming on. Branislav Ivanovic, who's arguably one of his most famous involvements as a Chelsea player was at Liverpool when he played in that magnificent 2-0 victory for Chelsea against Liverpool, most notable for the Steven Gerrard slip.
Demba Ba.
Yes, absolutely, he did play in that. He also plays in the ghost goal game, which we all remember as well, I'm sure. Williams' header drops behind him, forward by Sawyers, might come back from Phillips. Austin will chase it into the channel. Robertson will always be there first, and he'll take the throw quickly into his own area for Alisson. Liverpool will see this without a doubt as 2 points dropped. They've won every home game so far this season. They've scored at least 2 in their last 8 home games. It's poor. It's a poor touch by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Runs into Diangana, comes away. There's an option down the left in Pereira. He didn't want to play it. Why not?
Should have played
now
it.
He does. Pereira, is he offside?
He needed to play it so much earlier, Diangana. That's 2 or 3 occasions when he could have released the ball a little bit quicker. Just needs to get his head up.
Aaron Perez has been in touch to @TalkSport Live. I'm calling a late Mane winner.
It would be just like Liverpool to do that, but West Brom have defended so well, they wouldn't deserve it.
Are the Baggies going to get consecutive 1-1 away draws against Manchester City and now Liverpool? They're 2 minutes of the 4 into the stoppage time period. They're drawing 1 apiece. Ajayi from villain to hero. Can Liverpool break them down? Alexander-Arnold. Henderson. Another one of those straight balls
rubbish.
into the box.
It's just so poor.
Johnston falls to the ground.
They just lacked ideas and creativity today, Liverpool, massively.
West Brom coming from behind at City, now coming from behind at Liverpool to earn a draw. Long one by Johnston. Underneath it. Clock is going to drop
away
to Austin.
It's a good ball.
Furlong will chase it down towards the byline. Robertson's just ahead of him. He's done really well, Furlong, but Fabinho was back. Alisson has it. We're into the last minute of the 4 added on. Here they go. It's now or never. Henderson reaches the halfway line, right of the centre circle. Gives it to Mo Salah. Extraordinarily quiet on his return to the starting 11. Henderson. They're not even thrusting the ball forward now. Robertson, Mane towards the byline. What's the cross like? In it goes. Header up and away by Phillips. On by Austin in the right back position. Robertson picks up. 30 seconds to go. Mane, Robertson. There's the deep cross. It's terrible. And it's behind. And I think they've done it.
Yep, I think that might be it. This goal kick. And then it could be all over.
Jurgen Klopp has never beaten Sam Allardyce at Anfield. One of only 3 coaches in the Premier League to have played him 3 or more times and not have a losing record against him. Sam Allardyce. In the company of Pep Guardiola and Antonio Conte, Premier League winners. He's a genius. Johnston's ball away. Into touch far side. We're beyond the 4 minutes of stoppage time. Still, Kevin Friend hasn't blown his whistle. Throw in taken to Reece Williams. Up to Alexander-Arnold. He's adding on to the stoppage time because of Johnston's delay, I think. Oxlade-Chamberlain's cross is blocked behind. There's the corner. This is it for Liverpool.
We're going to be nearly a minute over here. Sam Allardyce will be absolutely furious if this leads to a goal.
Alexander-Arnold to deliver. Reece Williams is up. Origi's up. They've taken it short. Oxlade-Chamberlain's cross behind by Diangana, and there won't be time for another one. Sam Allardyce has his first point as a West Brom boss, and he's done it at the home of the champions. Ajayi let Mane in after 12 minutes to give Liverpool the lead, but it's his header that has earned West Brom the unlikeliest of points. His first Premier League goal in the place of one of the great Premier League teams has earned the Baggies a point. It's a Boxing Day weekend gift for West Brom. Liverpool just could not break them down. It's finished at Anfield extraordinarily. Liverpool won, West Brom won. The first points Liverpool have dropped at home. And it's a big Sam moment again. Matip's ball into Mane! Brilliant! 1-0 Liverpool, first shot on target, first goal. Now West Brom can start playing. Super easy, and it was a straight ball, but it was a brilliant touch by Sadio Mane to bring it down, and then on the half volley, smacks it past Sam Johnstone. How many do Liverpool fancy? How long can West Brom kick them out? Liverpool 1, West Brom 0.
This is really poor defending.
Ajayi's forward ball to Robinson. This is already being popped about a little bit nicer for West Brom. Furlong delivers the ball in. Alisson has got the ball in his hands. Who'd have thought?
That's the first time he's used his hands in the whole game.
I think it is. 49th minute. And there's a good ball forward by Sawyers. And Grant's through here. Grant, one-on-one with the keeper. Alisson stood big. Absolutely huge opportunity for West Brom. And Grant's wasted it. Short corner. Comes back to Pereira. There's the cross. Ajayi! It's off the post and in! Semi Ajayi has got the equaliser for West Brom! The man who made the error to allow Mane in 12 in the game and give Liverpool the lead has atoned for his error. It went in via the post. Alisson thought it was staying out, but has rolled behind him and crept in. Liverpool 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Sam Allardyce masterclass. And that is the way it finished, Chris Perry. And quite frankly, all right, you never knew the goal was going to come, but you predicted it from minute one.
You knew how Sam Allardyce was going to set his team up. You knew he was going to defend deep. He wasn't going to allow Liverpool space to be able to take advantage of what they want to. He was going to make it difficult. And credit to West Brom, and particularly the attacking players they had on the pitch, because they stuck at it brilliantly. They didn't get downhearted when they didn't have the ball. Just 22% possession today for West Brom. But they've got what they came for, and that was not to lose, and they got a really valuable point. But more importantly, that dressing room is going to be buzzing, and they're going to be believing now that Sam Allardyce is going to have the tactics. They're going to believe in everything he says now to keep them up.
Why can't Klopp beat Allardyce?
They just lacked a little bit of creativity today, Liverpool. They love to play when teams come and attack them and have space in behind, and that's what Mane and Salah and Firmino love to take advantage of. They didn't have that creative player in midfield that they were craving, and as I mentioned during commentary, I think if Thiago had been playing, he'd have just had that pass that would have split open the West Brom defence on a few more occasions.
I mean, the stars were quiet tonight, weren't they, really?
Yeah, I thought Salah was really poor. I thought he was really poor. Mane wasn't really in the game. Firmino again, apart from that header at the end, which was a really good chance, and he pretty much did everything right. A brilliant save from Johnstone. Again, they weren't in the game, but they weren't given the service and they weren't given the space to play that they normally have.
They worked hard, they've earned their point, and it's a superb point for West Brom. It just keeps them in touch with the teams above them. They started today 6 points off safety. It does take them to within 5, but always a bonus to get something at Anfield. It's been a magnificent performance by Sam Allardyce's West Brom to earn a 1-1 draw at Anfield. That is not, though, the end of the football this evening. We've got another game on its way, and that game is Wolves against Tottenham. Don't go away, stay with us. But I've been Toby Gillis, he's been Chris Perry, and it's been Liverpool 1, West Brom 1 on Premier League Live.
The Premier League Live.
Oh, what a goal!
With TalkSport.
What will you really gain from using anabolic steroids? Using illegal anabolic steroids can lead to nasty and serious side effects, both physical and psychological. Heart failure, infertility, hair loss, acne, mood swings, increased aggression. Don't lose out to steroid gains. Know the risks. Visit zerogains.ie. A message from the Health Products Regulatory Authority.
Get ready and hold on tight, because the Premier League is here! Which teams will stay on track? And who'll go off the rail? Get the Irish Sun for top transfer news, exclusive star interviews and opinions from the biggest names in football. Plus expert analysis of every action-packed match in our fantastic goals pull-out each weekend. Stay up to speed, because you never know what the Premier League is going to throw up. Pick up the Irish Sun today.
There's certain matchday sounds we are all missing. But there are others we don't have to. Is Carlsberg Pilsner the best beer to enjoy while watching the match at home? Probably. Carlsberg Pilsner. Probably the best beer in the world. Enjoy Carlsberg sensibly. Visit drinkaware.ie.
This is not the time for business as usual. It's time for effort and imagination. It's time to use technology to start your online plans. It's time to work from home to stay in touch. It's time to look to each other. Scoil Céile. Ireland is working online with help from Black Knight and .ie, because now we need better than business as usual. Call Black Knight on 059 918 3027 or visit blackknight.ie. Create the Premier League atmosphere at home with Harvey Norman, the home of the big screen. Feel like you're on the pitch with our stunning range of 4K smart LED and OLED TVs from LG, starting from just $449. Plus, hear every kick, save, tackle, decision with LG's best-in-class soundbars. Get TV ready for all the big games with Harvey Norman. Shop online today or safely in our spacious stores. Harvey Norman, home of the big screen.
As Ireland's homegrown insurer, FPD knows it's empowering when someone has your back. So switch your van insurance to us and get up to 75% no-claim discount. Visit fbd.ie to request a quote. FBD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms, conditions and underwriting criteria apply. 75% no claims discount is based on proof of 5 years no claims discount and available to new commercial motor customers only. FBD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FBD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FBD Insurance PLC.
The Premier League Live.
Gets the shot away! Goal!
With TalkSport.
Premier League Live with TalkSport.
I've got to ask you, have you ever been involved in a 10-man behind-the-ball game? You've got to...
They get a second. Here they can! Mason Greenwood with a wonderful turn past Bonner.
Jamie Vardy wins the game for Leicester.
Bringing you the best of the Premier League all year round.
No! It's a cracker from Kane to almost break the crossbar.
Leeds United, who have huffed and puffed all game long, have finally blown the Everton defence down.
Thumping head up. And there is goal number 5 for Manchester City, and it's a hat-trick for Riyad Mahrez.
Premier League Live with TalkSport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Wolverhampton Wanderers against Tottenham Hotspur from Molineux. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me for this one, the former West Ham, Leicester and Wolves striker David Connolly. This is Premier League Live. Like Christmas turkey on the 27th of December, the goals have dried up for Wolverhampton Wanderers. As for the turkey, reheat in the oven on a low heat with stock or gravy. As for Wolves, well, they need Raul Jimenez to return. Since the Mexican, who is in attendance at Molineux tonight, we understand, fractured his skull at Arsenal, Wolves have scored just twice from match play. And with the man who scored 44% of Premier League goals in the Wolves squad out for some time, who will step up in his place? As for Tottenham Hotspur, they were top of the league on December 15th. Since then, it's just 1 point in 3 games, 2 losses in a row, and they find themselves in 8th going into this one. Very Spurs, some might say. Just the whisper of a title push has seen them Christmas crumble. Down with the lights, indeed. Let's get to the team news, starting with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Leander Dendoncker was the big talking point for them going into this one. Would he be fit to make the matchday squad? He is not able to make it. We mentioned Raul Jimenez. Johnny also a long-term absentee. Good news, though, for Wolves. Conor Cody makes his 250th appearance for them. His 350th club career appearance. So Rui Patricio in goal. Staying with the back 4, Marçal, Conor Cody, Roman Saiz and Nelson Semedo. Midfield trio, Ruben Neves, João Moutinho, and it looks like Daniel Podence will play slightly deeper in that 3 tonight. Pedro Neto, Fabio Silva and Adama Traore, the front 3. 9 subs these days. Deep breath. John Ruddy, Kiana Hoover.
Recorded after heavy rain and high winds across large parts of the UK. Yellow warnings have been issued in Northern Ireland and North Wales, North West England and Southern Scotland. The chairman of Tesco says the trade agreement with the EU will stop price rises in supermarkets. John Allen predicted it would go up by 5% with no deal, but now customers will hardly notice anything. And former US wrestler John Huber, known as Brody Lee or Luke Harper, has died at the age of 41.